J is for Justice podcast.
Jay, I like your podcasts.
Roberta.
Hey guys, welcome back to J is for Justice. Let me get my guest pulled up on the screen here while I welcome you. Good Sunday morning to you. This is an early stream for me, so I'm still having my coffee. This case has gotten me like no sleep, and I think our guest can concur with that sentiment. It sounds like Clayton here has gotten some sleepless nights as well. So welcome, Clayton.
Hey, good morning, Jay. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Hey, so the people that weren't here the other day when you called in, I'm just gonna tell them, like, Clayton is a listener who called in the other day, and we started talking about his law enforcement background, stuff like that. So I wanted to talk with you because you hadn't watched the Adventures with Purpose yet. So I was like, oh, so after you saw Tow Truck Guy, like, I wanted to talk to you. So give us a little bit of your background, what you do now. Pretty interesting. And then we can talk about that.
All right. So I started in corrections about 10 years ago. I did that for a couple of years, and then I got certified to be a road deputy. Did that for about 5 years. So it's about 7 years there. And then I got out of law enforcement and got into bail bonds. So now I'm a bail bondsman / bounty hunter. So I track people down that miss court and put them back in jail. So that's pretty much what I do now.
That's got to be a pretty interesting job. I bet you have some stories to tell.
Yeah, I've definitely got some stories.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back for some Clayton stories.
It's interesting and aggravating all at the same time. So.
Oh, I can imagine. But you probably have a good team behind you, right? I mean, you got to have some manpower behind you to do that stuff, right?
Yeah. And we work with local law enforcement all the time, doing these pickups on people. I've got one that's probably 4 hours from me right now that I'm probably about to head out tomorrow to go try to track down. So
nice. So why don't you have a YouTube channel and talk about and do your adventures?
Because I am technologically
inept.
Yeah.
Well, you can always find a friend that isn't. There's always one in the bunch that knows what the hell they're doing. And that's not me. So I'm learning as I go, as you can see. Like right before we went live, all of a sudden my Zoom was like duplicating on my OBS, like doo, 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 doo. I was like, oh shit. Oh God, he's in the waiting room. So then my phone rang and I'm like, it's like every time you go to live, it's like, seems like everything happens at once. So anyways, you did watch Adventures on Friday, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I watched it probably 3 times now. So
yeah, I watched it many times myself. So let's talk about Tow Truck Guy.
Okay.
Initial thoughts.
So initial thoughts, the hardest thing that I've had to try to wrap my head around with him is the length of time that it took him to come forward. That's the only thing that I can see in the whole interview that makes it a little odd to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do know that he lives in Reno, so that makes a little more sense. But
you mean coming forward to the police or coming forward when he talked to Adventures?
Well, I mean, from what I understood through the interview, and they don't really go into it a lot, but I mean, it was a week after he had the encounter that he even realized this was a missing girl.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me was a little odd, just because of how big this case is. And I mean, I'm on the other side of the country, so and if it's
and we looked him up, and he went to school in Truckee, so I found that interesting because I'm thinking he might know these kids, Yeah.
And I'm not sure how old he is or anything like that, and I did find out that it's not like AAA that he works for, so it's not like a big huge company like AAA. I don't know what company it is that he works for. So I know a lot of people were saying that AAA does things a certain way and this and that, and how they have dispatch do this and dispatch. He doesn't work for AAA, so there could be some differences there as far as how everything goes. But I mean, with his story that he gave to AWP, I mean, it all makes sense to the timeline of events. I mean, it all adds up. like I said, the only weird thing to me was the fact that it was a week later before he even realized that it was a missing person case that he happened to get a call about. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a little odd.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let me ask you this. What did you get the impression that he actually drives a tow truck, or that he's like just one of those servicemen in like a service truck?
so I've had to use roadside assistance before,
Mm.
and I know they have different branches of the service that they offer. So they have like big tow trucks. The one that came out to me was just a regular pickup truck that had toolboxes on the back, and
Mm-hmm.
he carried like a set of tires so that if somebody needed a tire change, he could just go out there and change the tire and not have to pull a big tow truck around. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a very good possibility that he's just like a battery tech or just does tires or whatever.
Well, I thought
Um,
that too, Clayton, but then knowing that Doug is like an ex tow truck driver, I don't think
mhm.
he would call him tow truck driver if he wasn't actually driving one. So I
Okay,
think we
yeah,
kind of
that
have to assume that it was a tow truck just because if Doug didn't have that experience, I would think he'd be, more general, but I think he would be pretty precise with his description of tow truck guy.
Yeah, and also another thing to think about is he's saying that he's working the Truckee area for 3 days on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So how many different vehicles would they have working that same area? They would probably have a vehicle that could do the majority of the calls that they get. So that would put him in a tow truck just because why
There
would you
wouldn't
have
be a
two or three
whole
different
lot of
vehicles?
people, right? Like I
Yeah,
live in
yeah,
St. Pete, right? St. Pete, we have like road rangers that are on I-275, just in trucks to help with breakdowns, tire blowouts, shit like that.
yeah,
And they're all over, they're pickup trucks. So I know what you're saying, but in that rural area, there's not going to be an abundance of pickup trucks or tow trucks in weight to tow cars. It's probably going to be very
yeah,
limited. So
yeah.
that's a good point. So what bothered me about that is that Kiely's car seems to have disappeared for a little bit. So like they searched and searched and didn't find it, and then all of a sudden it was there, like stuck out like a sore thumb. Like Adventures with Purpose droned over, you could literally see the car.
Yeah, yeah, and that's extremely odd to me. That makes me think because there was a window there that somebody could have slipped that vehicle into that water after the law enforcement left. Now that's just saying after law enforcement left. There's no telling how many just civilians were out there around that site just trying to see what they could find or see what they could see.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes that theory a little hard to get there that they just slipped it in after law enforcement. Once law enforcement announced that they were going to scale back the search, they just slipped the car into the water. But there would have been all kind of people around that area, I would think, because Truckee's not a very big community, but it seems like they're all kind of involved in this.
Right. So how did
As
they get
far
the
as
car if they stashed it? How'd they get the car from point A to point B without being seen when everybody in the area was looking for the car? It would have had to be
yeah,
towed.
yeah,
So that's what
that's
bothers me about tow truck guy. I'm just going to say
yeah,
it. That
yeah.
bothers me.
I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
I definitely can see
I don't know if
that
there's
that
anything
point of
there,
view.
but it's the,
Yeah,
kind of ties in. So,
yeah, and like I said, my biggest red flag with tow truck guy was the fact that you've got a missing 16-year-old that's been missing for at that point she'd already been missing for a week and a half
mm-hmm,
by the time that he came forward.
mm-hmm.
So, you know, that to me is a little bit of a red flag. But like I said, that can be very explainable. I mean, if it's somebody that works all the time that isn't, on social media a lot, that, isn't at home watching the news or whatever, there's a good possibility that he could have just not heard about it. Or that he could have heard about it and just not put two and two together until he saw the photo on the flyer.
I mean, I guess, but I don't really feel like any of these kids would watch the 5 o'clock news. I
No.
think that everything they're looking at and that he would look at, he's a young guy, would probably be online. So I
Yeah,
don't
I,
know, like
I
living
agree.
in that area, how you could miss it. Because when you watched Adventures with Purpose, there was another, or maybe it was one of the interviews. I think it was the interview with Popcorn Planet where Doug said, dude, you couldn't, he said that community was amazing. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing a flyer. How did that dude go over a week not seeing one?
Yeah, and the only thing that kind of steers me away from that is the way that Doug and them have talked about the tow truck guy. They talk about him like he's extremely credible. They talk about him, they had his wife or his girlfriend come on with an interview as well. And so that could be a way to try to make him think that they think that he's extremely credible.
Right. Like maybe they're trying to convince him, like, hey, dude, we believe you. Keep talking. But it already sounds like they have 3 parts of an interview. So if the guy is involved somehow, yikes. Like, it's already recorded,
Yeah. And also you got to remember that I don't believe it was Doug that said it. I think it was the guy that was on Zav's stream.
Jared, probably.
Jared.
Yeah, Jared.
So Jared said that they've got, a lot more information involved in this case that they're ready to release once the case steps to the next level. And that next level to me is charges being filed. That's the next level. I mean, that's all that's coming. All that's coming is an autopsy, a toxicology report, the manner and the matter of death, and charges being filed if there's foul play. That's all that's left to come. So to me, when Jared made that statement, that made me think, okay, they've got evidence that's going to put certain people there with that vehicle and how this happened. And they don't want to release that information until the investigation has gotten to that point where they can release it. So, and that could be surrounding tow truck guy. That information could definitely be, they got these other interviews with him, and they're saying that they only will release like 10% of the interview they did with him. So that other part of the interview could be where they found some inconsistencies in his story, and it's going to lead back to him. But only time will tell.
Or he knows something and he's the one talking. Or he could have came forward with his story just to cover his tracks. I mean, there's so many different things that it could be. Yeah. But what's the most obvious, Clayton? I mean, if you take it to like an investigative standpoint, I'm no investigator. I'm literally a dumbass with a podcast, and I just talk through everything I see, but what do you think is the most probable situation? It's so convoluted that it's probably hard to even say, but like from a investigative standpoint, where do you stand logically?
All right, so looking at everything that we know now, let's just for a second take tow truck guy out. Let's say he never came forward and we never know any of that information. Okay. Just looking at the situation that we know the party happened, we know where it happened. All right, we know that the days went by and all the stuff that happened after she disappeared. And then we get to the point that AWP recovers the vehicle after law enforcement has already searched that area. So to me, knowing what was going on at that party and knowing how quiet everything is around the party, it leads me to believe that multiple people, and I honestly believe that whatever happened to her happened away from the actual party to where not everybody knows, but there's a good amount and word gets around pretty quick as far as what happened. But I believe something happened to her, probably, in my opinion, probably drug related, because there was drugs at that party. I'm thinking maybe an OD situation. They freaked out, didn't know what to do, and they got rid of the vehicle in the water. And then law enforcement comes out, starts searching, and just like Jared and Doug have said, they're not equipped the way AWP is as far as being able to use the sonar and all that. And I understand that the car is right there and you can literally see it with the drone. But the water conditions could have been different that specific time that law enforcement was there. There's a lot of factors and variables that can go into that. So there's a chance that law enforcement just looked over it and missed it or didn't hit that exact spot. I mean, we don't 100% know that. But to me, the most logical explanation would be there was a death of some kind, either a murder or an accidental overdose, and the people freaked out and they ditched the car. That to me is the most logical, right in your face explanation. Yeah, I mean, then you get into
these people are calling them witches and saying it was satanic and all this stuff. I'm not going that far. I'm with you on these kids. I mean, a reason enough to cover it up and not want to ruin their future. I mean, Sammy's getting ready to go off to college. Her life's just beginning. All these kids' lives are just beginning. And even if they heard something, they don't necessarily want to get involved, or I think it was Doug said or Jared said, their parents are just stay out of it. Like, don't put yourself in the midst. I don't know who said that, but somebody did. And I was like,
Yeah.
it makes sense where they'd say, you know what? You didn't see nothing. You don't get involved. But what bothers me is that Miss Sammy was doing teen to teens, wanting to see all the video and pictures that people had from the party. And this brings me to what I wanted to ask you about the surveillance photo that was taken of Kiely that was released. And she's wearing the black bodysuit and like her belt and everything. You know what I'm talking about, that photo.
Yeah.
So we watched American Dream Chaser interviewed Sammy and asked her, was that what she was wearing? He pulled up a picture and he's like, did you ever watch that interview with Sammy?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, wow. Okay. So he interviews her on, I think it was the 11th of August. And that seems to be when everything started to kind of start really like spiraling, was when they changed the shirt. It was all of a sudden an Odd Future shirt. You know, all these things started coming out. So she did this interview, this like impromptu interview on YouTube with a YouTuber. And she was
that was the one she was sitting in her car?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen clips of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh, you should watch it. It's very telling.
I'll have to go back and find it.
Yeah, I can email you the link when we get done. But yeah, so she says at one point, you know, she wasn't wearing, you know, she had changed her shirt, so it was like she wanted that tank top to go away. You know what I mean? Because they found one. So then he's like, oh, so the tank top they found isn't hers. And at first she said, we're investigating that. I mean, the detectives and the FBI are. Is what she said. So then she's asked again, maybe like 10 minutes later, and she says, because he pulls up something, and he's, the tweet of the Sacramento thing, of the topless girl being chased by a Honda CRV. He pulled that up on the screen. She saw it. He says, oh, because they say, you know, her top was found here. And she says, no, that wasn't her top. So she goes from we're investigating it to when that tweet was pulled up or whatever that was he pulled up. She was like, oh, no, that wasn't hers. Oh, you have that info? Nope, that wasn't her top, you know. So it's very telling to see her contradict herself. She starts out the interview all smiles, and then at the very end, the interviewer says, I bet your parents are really proud of you and you have a bright future ahead of you. And her face is, you know, by the end of the interview, it was kind of like a mini interrogation. It was actually, the questions were really good. Like, the questions were so good. Yesterday, I was like, those got to be from law enforcement, but who knows? I don't know. But they were really good questions. So you should watch that. It's interesting.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and you know, but behind the scenes in this is another part of this that a lot of people don't realize is happening, is there are interviews going on all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
These people, I mean, anybody that they can get their hands on that they can confirm was at that party is getting pulled into an interview with police. And those are not fun places to be. And if there's any information to get out of anybody, they're getting. Because these kids, you know, law enforcement has different tactics they go about to get information. And one of the biggest tactics is to basically threaten you with taking your life. Not by killing you, by locking you up and putting you in the scene of a crime. And when they do that, that automatically makes people get defensive and they start pointing fingers elsewhere. And then information starts getting released. And then
I feel like the pressure is really on because everybody's gone radio silent too. Have you noticed that?
And that's what I said the other day. You know, when law enforcement goes cold and you're not hearing anything, you best believe that they're I mean, it's like an ant bed. They're just stirring and going crazy behind the scenes. And we may not be hearing what's going on, but all they're doing is putting everything together. And you know, we're probably only got 10 or maybe 15% of the whole story. You know, so
for sure.
Everything that we're
kind
coming
of
up
scary to think what else could possibly come out.
Yeah.
You know, as far as involvement, that's a lot of kids at a party. So can I ask your opinion on something else real quick while it's on the top of my head? So what do you think about the theory that, because Kate says that her and Kiely went to Reno on Thursday, the 4th. Yeah, the 4th.
That would have been the day before the party, right?
Yeah, the day before they were in Reno together. And then Friday, supposedly they hung out and made creme brulee, which I think is the most bizarre thing to say. Like, we made creme brulee. Okay. So then they hang out that afternoon, and then we have the surveillance that's supposedly at 6:08 on Friday. But when was the last time that someone actually saw Kiely besides these kids? Like, what were they doing in Reno on Thursday? Was there something that happened there? Was there a party that went on that night? I mean, we're not really hearing from Kate about Reno.
Well, I've been hearing that there was some kind of a pre-party the night before.
Like a pre?
But I don't, yeah, like a pre-gamer type thing. There wasn't nearly as many people, but I haven't heard if it was in Reno or where it was. So, I heard that, I believe, on Dolly's channel last night. I went on there for a little bit, and somebody popped up and said that there was some social media stuff out there that there was a party the night before, and it was probably less than a quarter of the amount of people that they're talking at. So we're talking probably 100 people.
So basically their circle, probably. Like more of the local circle versus all of those surrounding communities.
Yeah, because from what Doug said yesterday, he's thinking this party out at Prosser was upwards of 400 people.
I know, I heard that. I was like, holy shit. We started out with a hundo. Now we're up to almost 500, right? It's like, what the hell?
And I pulled up on Google Maps earlier and pinpointed the place where they found the car. And to me, there's no, I mean, it's almost guaranteed that this isn't like an accident where she just drove off the road. There's just no way.
I don't think so either. And Doug said, I mean, straight up on Popcorn Planet's thing, he was like, this isn't a wrong turn kind of road. It's not going to happen. And that to me was like,
if you pay attention when Doug and them are being interviewed, they'll answer certain things pretty candidly. And when they start getting into certain information, they get real shut down. And that to me tells me that not only is there information that they know, but there's probably a lot more to it than they even know. And they don't want to get on the side of speculating into things that they have an idea about because they have certain information that we don't, but they don't have as much as what law enforcement knows.
Yeah.
So they've probably been told by law enforcement, look, we've got information from this tip that came in from you finding the vehicle and the body. We've gotten certain things that we've gotten to this point, and we've gotten further than that. Now they're not going to relay that information to AWP as far as what they actually have, but AWP knows that, hey, it's going in this direction, and we don't want to speak on this because if we're wrong, then that's going to just cloudy up the whole thing for law enforcement.
Well, right. I mean, they don't want to tell too many people, right? Because then that could hurt their investigation.
Yeah, I mean, and there's tons of theories that are going around, but the way I look at it is I try to start with the most logical, and then I work my way down.
Which theories are bothering you the most, Clayton?
Well, lizard people.
What's that? I haven't heard that one. I'm not sure if I went lizard. Like these girls are like lizard people.
No, I'm just saying like there's some out there that are just like UFOs, and there's just all kind of crazy stuff.
It's gone that far, huh?
Oh, it's gotten absolutely insane. I mean, I watched Dolly last night. I won't say any names.
I watched part of it, but yeah, I got it. I started watching it when I woke up. Go ahead.
But here's the thing: when you start talking about the conspiracy side, and this is what I tried to tell Dolly last night. I don't know if you really understood what I was trying to say. When you start getting into the conspiracy side, that it's a cover up on many different angles, and I'm not even going to go into the part that certain people are saying that this whole thing is just made up and that this person isn't even real, because that is just you've got to go to a certain point in your head that you're not coming back from. Like there is no coming back.
Yeah, it's out there. I agree.
And so, but even just going down a conspiracy side to where there's a cover up, because it has happened where law enforcement has made a mistake in a case and they don't want to admit that they're wrong, and they start covering certain things up to try to make themselves look like they didn't do as bad of a job as they did,
Yeah,
And
I mean,
so
they never want to
that
look
that
bad. They
kind of
want to
stuff,
have the trust of the community,
yeah,
you know?
and that kind of stuff happens. But when you're talking about a complete cover up from not only the 400 kids that were at the party, the parents that are involved, I mean, the boyfriend, the friends, law enforcement, AWP, all these people have to know the exact same story and keep telling the same story over and over, and nobody can slip up or the whole gig's up.
Yeah, that's a lot of people to fake a
And
person's death.
and I've got a small circle of friends, and we can't keep secrets between ourselves. I don't understand how all these people are. There's just it's just and not only that, but as you go through the investigation, the goalpost and the conspiracy has to keep moving. So it's not like here's the end, here's what actually happened, because the next bit of information we get out now that whole conspiracy theory has to change to fit that. So you have to keep
It
changing
has
your
to be
conspiracy to
evolving.
fit what
Yeah,
comes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's got to be an evolving
Exactly.
thing.
So no matter what happens in this case, the conspiracy theory is going to keep going. Just like the Gabby Petito situation.
Oh, it's still
There's
going.
still people out there that that's what I'm saying, and it changes all the time. And so to me,
True.
I try to stay in reality, and I've been around certain things like this, and I've worked alongside people with missing person cases, and as a bounty hunter, I have to track people down all the time, so I have to try to find information out and dig things up and this and that. So looking at it from a reality standpoint, there's no possible way all these people are just covering this up and making this up, and it's a hoax.
Like fabricated, yeah.
And the thing that worries me the most, number one, is if that certain person that is coming up with these theories is wrong, not only is it affecting this family, it's affecting this community, it's affecting the legacy of this 16-year-old girl. But we just saw, I mean, Alex Jones just went through a trial for the same exact thing. I mean, there's big penalties that could come from this. This is national news. This isn't something to play around about.
Yeah, I think you're right, Clayton, and I think you're going to see some changes coming, because this has happened with so many cases that I followed with little kids, like 5-year-olds, dude. Like, that is sick. Like, it's gotten to the point where it's not even about that child anymore.
Yeah.
It's the child, and the whole reason that you even started talking about it gets lost in the mix of all of these crazy ass theories, and then going live every day and accusing each person that lives in this area or each person that knows this person. It's like they drag every single person until there's no one else to drag anymore. And that's it. And that's just not following true crime, in my opinion. And
yeah, no,
it's garbage. And like you said, now I think in the age that we're in now, people don't really have cable much anymore unless they're older. They don't want to get rid of it. But most people don't even really have cable television or watch the 5 o'clock news. They're watching the shit on YouTube when they can, right? We're not all sitting down in front of the TV at 5 o'clock anymore. It's just not that kind of world. So I think that being that this is a platform where people are going to come for their news, I think as creators, we have to be responsible. And that's my take on it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I mean, we saw, the whole situation with Alex Jones. I don't know how much you followed that, but
I did follow it. Absolutely,
so,
I followed it.
We're at the point now to where there's consequences for these things. And that's what worries me, because I don't want to see anybody go down that road and get into that.
Yeah.
Being drug into court, wasting all the money on attorneys, wasting all the time that you could be doing something productive, having to fight a case that, I mean, all the evidence is there of what you said, so it's not like, so that's the part that I don't like is the, like I said, it affects the family, it affects the community, it affects her legacy, because now, the water is starting to get muddy to where there's certain people that are claiming that, she wasn't even a real person. And that's a horrible thing to have to look back and remember your 16-year-old child and have to see that kind of stuff. It's awful. It
is. But I do think that there are things that go on that I don't think everything is conspiracy, but I do think that there are, sinister things that go on. And I think in true crime, the reason why people get so out there with their theories is because when something's left open-ended, you said you followed Chris Watts, right? I mean, we had like him say one thing and then, it was just, how the whole thing went down, so it left this just a little tiny crack for conspiracies to flow through, because it wasn't tied up and explained. If we don't get a full explanation, that's where true crimers are like, wait a minute. If we don't get like that discovery for Chris Watts should have told us everything that happened. He was convicted. Yeah. He was gone. He's gone for life. That discovery should have told a story, but it was still all redacted. So I think that's where people start to lose trust. Like, hey, they might pull something over on us. So then it gets, and it spirals. It does. It spirals. Yeah. I got myself in the Summer Wells case. I got spiraled into this big human trafficking ring thought. And it was just like, I had to take a step back, Clayton. I took a break from YouTube for 2 months because it was too much. This is a 5-year-old kid, dude. Like, and to think about this human trafficking, which I know happens, and I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but even the thought of that is so damn heavy to me that it's too much. Because if you have that situation, like you said, that means law enforcement's covering that up by her town and everything. And and the FBI and the TBI, like, I just can't go there. I need to trust my law enforcement. If we don't, we have nothing.
Yeah, and the way law enforcement works is there's definitely good and bad in it. But, in situations like this, when you're talking about a widespread investigation that's covering multiple different agencies, I mean, you're talking about government agencies that are involved. You're talking about, outside agencies that are just private agencies that are coming in. You've got all kind of people that are involved in this. If there was a few bad apples that were trying to hide and cover stuff up, that's going to be found out by the good ones. That's what they're there for. So it's hard for me to get on the train of everybody is working together and covering this up.
Yeah.
Now, I agree that there's probably some people in it that are trying to cover things up or trying to make things not go a certain way or whatever, but that few amount of people is not going to be able to override the majority. And the majority are trying to figure out exactly what happened to this girl and trying to figure out the circumstances and the situation that went on that night.
Yeah, I think we have to keep in mind that there's bad eggs in every profession. You can't get away. People are humans,
100%. I mean, when I look back at the whole George Floyd situation, that was my biggest problem with that whole situation was you had one bad apple and the other, what could have been good apples, stood by and watched it happen when they could have, taken control and handled that, and we wouldn't have ever heard about it. But, and that's what I hope is going on here. I hope that if there are some bad apples doing some bad stuff, that the good ones are going to stand up and say, hey, no, we're going to do this the right way, and we're going to get answers, and we're going to figure this out.
I agree. I mean, you have human beings, you're going to have corruption. It's just the way it goes. But you'd have to have the whole department involved and all this shit.
Yeah, I mean, everybody would have to know about it, and everybody would have to be.
Now, couldn't a small town sheriff department, though, pretty much keep like the good old boy system going pretty easily?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Where I live, it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You've got certain people that know certain people that commit crimes and don't get prosecuted the way other people do because they're tied into this or they know this person. And
that's how it was. I used to live in Central Florida in Sebring, and it was kind of like that there. The Highlands County Sheriff was like, they all knew each other and everybody was family. They were all cousins of cousins of cousins. And, it was the family tree went deep. So,
well, and I'll open up for a second. I'll let you know why I'm not involved in law enforcement, an actual agency anymore. Was there was a 47-year-old man that came in on a DUI into my county jail that I worked at before. At this time, I was already with the sheriff's office and working as a deputy.
Mm-hmm.
but he was arrested for DUI. And during the pat down that they did on him, his hands were handcuffed behind his back. There was 2 officers doing the pat down, and something happened as far as him trying to pull away from them or trying to, he was drunk, being stupid, And so instead of these 2 officers just controlling the guy, they swept his legs out from under him, and he landed on the back of his neck, and it killed him. And for 6 months, the whole department covered it up.
Holy shit!
From the doctors at the jail, to all the jail employees, to the sheriff's office, to the coroner, everybody covered it. Everybody covered it up for 6 months.
Wow.
This guy was already buried and in the ground, and the family put a GoFundMe up and raised enough money to have him exhumed and have a private autopsy done. The coroner, the state coroner, released that his manner of death was a heart attack. And when they exhumed his body and they did the private autopsy, they found out that he had a broken neck and a severed vertebrae, and that's what killed him. And then the sheriff's office completely turned on the 2 officers, and they're in jail. So
holy shit! Wow.
So that made me get out of law enforcement. That forced me out the door, because I was like, let's just say that they did something practical and this guy died, right?
Mm-hmm.
At what point will they just turn on him and try to throw him under the bus? And that's how I felt. I said, what if I ever get in a situation where I have a legal use of force that I do, but then
they turn on you, they don't have your back,
and they turn on me? And so
absolutely.
I'm like, I can't take that risk. I really can't.
That's terrifying, actually, when you put it that way.
Yeah, I was in law enforcement for, like I said, 10 years, or right at 10 years, and I never got in a situation where I had any kind of major use of force situation. But if I did,
thankfully,
thankfully, it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. Every day you go to work, you're expecting something. You're on guard for something.
Yeah, and but what scared me to death was, what if I get in a situation and in my mind I'm completely justified for what I did, and in their mind I'm completely justified for what I did, but then all of a sudden people start,
here come the lawsuits,
answers, and then all of a sudden the sheriff's office or whatever doesn't want to put themselves in a position where they're having to defend me. They could just turn on me and say, well, yep, what he did was wrong, sorry. And I just, that just rubbed me the wrong way whenever that whole situation happened. And so I said, yeah,
I don't blame you.
I gotta get out of this. So,
you gotta be able to trust your fellow officers. That would be very important.
And you have to be able to trust them, good and bad.
Yeah.
You have to be able to trust them if you mess up, that they're going to hold you accountable. And you also have to be able to trust that if you do something right, they're going to have your back.
That's just all about honesty, right?
Yeah, and that's what I was worried about, because these 2 officers did the wrong thing. They knew they did the wrong thing. And instead of from the get-go going, you messed up, they tried to hide it, cover it up, lie for them, and then it eventually came out, and then they turned them. So
Yeah, that's crazy. So you were like, peace out. I'm going into. You went right into bail bonds.
Yeah, so I went right and got my certification to become a bail bondsman. I started out as what they call a runner bondsman, which is just a bounty hunter. I go and do pickups, and then I went back and got my surety license, which means I can write bonds and get people out of jail.
Well, you're a big boy. I wouldn't want to mess with you. I'll tell you what. If you were coming after me, I'd be like, shit, I'm out of here. You gotta be like that, right?
Yeah, we definitely get in situations all the time that, I've got a lot.
You can hold your own. Stories. You can hold your own.
I've got a lot of crazy stories, but
I bet. But I appreciate your insight. I really do.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I go in looking at a lot of these situations, just like the Kiely Rodni cases. There's definitely some bad apples in the bunch on all sides, but I pray and I hope and I believe that there's enough good that's not going to matter.
So can I ask you something about her local law enforcement there, like the Placer County? There's been a lot of talk about, the sheriff there and Wayne Wu or whatever his name is. Have you heard about him? People have been throwing out like stuff about him in the past. I saw that. But I was more interested in current, why they think he would cover something like this up right now. And people are saying that his kids were there. Or I heard his kids were there. I don't know.
That could be,
or law enforcement had children at the party.
Well, with that many kids, if they're in that community, they've got to have somebody.
They were probably there, right?
Yeah.
But why would law enforcement cover that up? Why would the whole department cover it up for some of their kids if they weren't directly involved? There would be no need, right?
The only way that I would see that even really being a possibility is if their kid came to them and told them some information that made them feel like there could be some repercussions for that down the line. So if a kid came to, say, their dad or their uncle or somebody and said, "Hey, I was at this party and I saw this happen. I don't know what happened afterwards, but to me, I would say, oh, well, thank you for the information. I'm going to go work on it and try to figure this thing out."
Mm-hmm.
But some officers would start panicking and being like, "Oh crap, now my name's going to get brought into this, and now my family's going to get," you know what I mean? And so I could see how that could happen.
It's so wrong, though, man. How can people be so selfish? I don't understand it.
Well, as humans, that's kind of the way we are. We're very tribal, and we kind of take care of our own. And so, the only thing that I've seen in this case that would kind of make me think that there could be some kind of weirdness going on is that law enforcement searched for, what was it, 9,000 hours or something, 19,000 hours.
And then deliberately told AWP, you don't need to go there. Nothing to see over there. Like,
yeah,
what?
Well, and with that, I've been in situations like that before. We've been searching an area, and I can understand how law enforcement would just let them know, "Hey, we've already searched this, we've already searched this." I don't know if it was as much as them saying, "Hey, you don't need to search this." I think it was just, "Hey, this is where we've been, so if you want to hit something else, whatever." And I understand why law enforcement would do that, because they've already put in all this manpower and all this work, and then also, like I said, egos get involved
big time,
and law enforcement, one of the biggest things that law enforcement officers can't stand is missing something or losing a case. They hate it. They hate it whenever they're proven wrong. They hate it whenever their theory isn't exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take that very well. And I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying a lot of them. There's an ego involved. Everybody goes to a job and tries to do their best at the job every day. If somebody comes behind you and does your job and finds something that you messed up, it kind of hits you a little bit. And it's the same way with this. AWP going in there and finding that car probably makes law enforcement step back and go, "Ooh, this don't look good."
No, it doesn't look good at all.
And so that's the only part that I've seen where there could possibly be some weirdness and some shadiness in the whole situation coming from law enforcement was, and like I said, is there a possibility that car got slipped in there after law enforcement already searched? Sure.
That it got flipped?
Well, from what AWP said, when the car hits the water, it's going to float so far, and then the wheels, because they're buoyant, are going to come to the surface. It's going to
like nosedive, right? Because the engine's heavier. So it's going to go.
The engine's heavier and the tires are buoyant.
So it's going to turtle or whatever they said.
Up top. Yeah. So the tires are going to want to be up top. And so and from what I understood, AWP was saying was the reason that happened the way it did in this case is because of the sudden drop off where it was. It went from like 4 feet to 14 feet.
Yeah, there was. That. You could see that drop off in the video.
Yeah. So the car goes in, it goes over that edge, and especially if it's not being driven, especially if it's being rolled, it's slowly going over the edge. the front end goes down and the back end comes up, and then the car flips over.
Repo guy wants to come up. I'm gonna Repo.
Okay.
Do you mind, Clayton?
No.
All right,
Bring up the
Repo. Where's my phone at? Oh, here it is. I'm gonna have you text me, and then I'll send you the link, or you can give me your email, whichever way you want to do it. I just don't want to put it in chat because then I'll get a bunch of hosers. I just said hosers. I sound like a fucking old lady. So, Repo, let me know. I'll give you the number. You can text. Oh, sorry.
No,
I just saw your message that you wanted to check audio, but you're perfect.
No, you're fine.
Your audio's good, Clayton.
I appreciate it. One thing that I will say that if it comes out, now I've heard that there's people been going in and taking the blurriness off of the AWP photo. I haven't seen any of that stuff, so I don't know about any of that. I've heard that there's people out there that's doing it, and I've been saying since they found that car, the state that her body's in is going to tell a lot in this case. A lot. So I'm hearing theories that, she may have had different clothes on. She may have had no clothes on at all. That to me is going to be huge.
I've heard that theory that she was found unclothed, but I don't know. Like, the number's on the screen, Repo, if you want to text. All right. What was I saying? I'm sorry. What were we just talking about?
Talking about how she was found and her clothes and all that.
Oh, yeah. Because when Nick, the diver, went around on the one side, he's like, I see a pair of shoes, or I see shoes. Can't remember if he said pair or not, but he said I see shoes, and then worked his way around the back. And then you notice he wiped that back window because it had a buildup on it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, I don't know if anybody would even know this, but how long, like in that weather condition, I wonder would it take for that algae and stuff to, start building up? Would it be like within days? Would it be with like within weeks? Like I wonder how that works. Being with the water temperature and everything in the environment, I wonder how long that buildup, because that would kind of give them an idea of how long that water was, or that car was in the water, right?
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, AWP, most of their cases are, years and years after the fact. So probably all of them that they find just probably got built up on it like that. Probably a lot worse than what, Kiely's did. But so that they probably wouldn't even be able to answer that question because they probably haven't found many vehicles that were literally days after it went in the water. So.
Right. But law enforcement would know. That would be part of the FBI's forensics, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. What, the state of that vehicle and all that. And, I'm seeing a lot of things about people asking about the, like the mirrors and how they were broke and this and that. And,
yeah.
From what I understand, to get the car out, they had to flip the car back over. So, being in the water and there being a lot of pressure and the movement of flipping the car back over and the shaking of everything broke that mirror off, which is understandable because from what I saw when they dove on the car, the mirrors were all intact. He even said that in the video.
Yeah, so that happened when you put those cables through or whatever through, like, because it looks like they put a cable like through the whole front around like the windshield there in order to tug it, right?
Yeah, and then just flip it over on its wheels, and then they would have hooked up to it and pulled it out.
Now, I know adventures usually, they said they net the cars. Okay, I just sent Repo guy the link. Okay, Repo, I just sent it to you in text. Hopefully that works. Go ahead, Clayton.
From what I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong, but AWP is not the one that actually pulled the vehicle out.
No, and they usually
found it
net
and
them.
then stepped away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know, but whenever they found the car, I didn't hear anybody, like, I didn't even find out or see anybody really talking about the fact that she was found in the back of that car until AWP released that members only video.
Say that last part. Sorry.
So, like, when I was watching this case happen and they found the car, I didn't even realize it or, hear anybody talking about it, that she was in the very back of that car until AWP released their members on video. But now when I look back, I see that the tarp is over the back of the car, so that would have been there to block her.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, I didn't even put two and two together whenever I was watching it.
Oh, you didn't?
No, that was super. Like,
well, you didn't see the part
like,
where he said we found. I can confirm human remains.
No. I'm talking about before that video came out.
Before that. Okay, got you.
So just whenever we got the video of them pulling the car out, like before AWP released their video.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Pulling the car out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the tarp was over the back of the vehicle. I didn't hear anybody comment on the fact why was the tarp over the back of the vehicle? Is that where she was?
I think
Nobody
we
even
assumed. We assumed it was.
Okay.
I mean, we did. I know I did when we talked about it here. We assumed that she was in the very back, but we didn't know anything about cars and what happens to people when they go underwater and flip and all of that until we started Then we started binge watching AWP, and then found the video how to get out of your car alive when it goes in the water. That awesome video that everybody needs to watch. I had no idea what would happen if your car. I never gave it any thought. It was not something that ever, was anything I needed to worry about. So, hang on, I'm gonna enter Repo. Do you want to change your name before you enter? You might want to leave and go into Zoom and change your name because it's got first and last, and I don't want to put that up there. And I see you're in the waiting room, but I don't want to admit you because it's gonna like totally dox whose ever name that is, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna exit it out and let you go and change. I don't think you can change it when you're in a meeting. So if you want to just change it in your settings really quick and come back, I just don't want to put anybody's first and last names up.
Yeah, this day and age, that's probably not a good idea.
No, it's not. And I don't know who this, I don't know who this person is or what they know. I don't want to do that. It's never a good idea. But yeah, he can come back. Just change your name. And if you have problems, text me. I'll help you.
It's in, and when they found that car and found out that she was in the back of it and started saying, everything that their theories as far as how all that went down.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest question that I had was, so you've got the back driver's side all the way down, the back passenger side halfway down, and if she's in the driver's seat and that car goes in the water and she starts panicking trying to get out, well, she literally goes right by two open windows. And then the theory of, well, let's say she passed out or something while she was driving, and this is just going down the whole of it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say she passed out or when she hit the water, her head hit the steering wheel and knocked her out or whatever, and she was unconscious. Well, if the car's upside down, she would have floated into the floorboard, or if she got to the back seat, she would have floated into the back floor. So she would have had to try to swim down under those seats to get to the very back cargo area.
That's so true. When I was picturing it, my brain can't comprehend this upside down shit. When I kept picturing it, I'm picturing her going up and over. But you're so right. She would have had to go down, and it would have been pitch black because it was nighttime, right? There's no light getting into that water. Like, there's no sunlight to come down. So it's black. You can't see shit anyways, even when it's, daylight in that water. It's hard to see.
Even whenever they dove on the car, it's hard to see. And I mean, it was middle of the day.
Right.
So that to me was the number one thing that popped up that said, oh, this is definitely something weird.
Agreed. Repo guy. What's up, Repo? Oh, he's still connecting to audio. get Kate out of here. So what do you think of Kate, Jagger, and Sammy?
So, I know a lot of people have the theory that the guy, the tow truck, if the tow truck driver's telling us exactly what happened and he's being honest, I don't believe the guy that he saw was Jagger.
You don't?
No.
Wow.
And the reason that I don't is because he's very adamant in the interview. He doesn't just say he had hair coming out the side of his hat. He said he had a little bit of hair coming out the side of his head.
Yeah,
Now,
he did say a little bit, and Jagger's shit is long.
Yeah, that's the only thing that made me go, hang on, this. I mean, if he just said he had hair coming out up under his hat, then of course I would assume it was Jagger. But when he says a little bit of hair, that makes me go, well, why would he say a little bit if it was a lot?
I was thinking that too, Clayton, and I thought maybe he was saying that to throw Jagger off.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, we could. That's the thing. We don't know.
We could get on that merry-go-round and go around all day.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Repo Guy, can you hear us? Oh, no, I can't hear Repo.
I can.
Oh, there you are.
I can hear you.
Hey.
Yeah, let me get some headphones real quick so I can
right.
actually hear better.
All right, sounds good.
It's a little different on this Zoom. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem. Take your time. We'll just be here chatting it up. So, so about those three, the Jagger thing, he could have said that to throw him off, or it could be real, that's the way it was.
Now, to me, Kate and Sammy are the most suspicious out of the three. I mean,
yes, she was front and center.
And there's two ways people handle stuff like this. If you're involved and you're close to the case, if it's a family member, like look at the Chris Watts situation. If it's a family member, there's either two ways that they go about trying to handle the situation whenever the heat's coming to them. They either go radio silent and disappear, and you don't even remember their name, or they're front and center activists trying to get the word out there, trying to get other people on board to try to figure out what happened. That's usually the two routes they go.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, when Sammy is putting together these team-to-team meetings and trying to, and being on the news and doing these interviews and doing all this kind of stuff, it's like you should be mourning and trying. I'm not saying don't try to find her and don't try to find out what happened, but why are you wanting to filter everything through you? It's a little odd.
Very odd. Very odd.
So it makes me think that she's trying to find out what other people know so that she can try to cover her tracks as she goes.
Yeah. So you think she's the most suspicious. I think she's suspicious as well, like 100%. But I also think that the two that went to Reno to search, I don't know if they're suspicious, but I think there's some reason that Jagger and Kate headed to Reno to search. And I know
and Jagger was already in Reno, right? So supposedly.
I don't know, because Sammy said he was in Napa. I think he lives in Napa. So that's 3 hours away, and that's supposedly where his dad lives. But he lives in Truckee, apparently, maybe with the other parent. I don't know. I don't know where the hell he was. I never saw him like at the rec center, like at the searches there, or whatever they were doing with Sammy and Mags and all them people that were there. I didn't see Kate or Jagger there. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they chose on the 9th, I believe it was August 9th, to go to Reno, and then Fox 40 followed them there in this clip. Did you see that clip?
Yeah.
So they don't really show much. I mean, they show like the hills, and they say, oh, this is where they spent time, and then they make a fast forward drive through a neighborhood, and then boom, they're done. I mean, like, what was the point of that whole thing? There was no point to that news report other than to somebody who knows what they're doing and would know what that is and where they are, is my feeling.
Well, and this is the problem whenever media gets involved in this kind of stuff is law enforcement's really good about picking what leads they follow and checking credibility of leads before they start going down that hole. Media kind of jumps on everything. I mean, I could find a news story right now and call the local media and say, hey, I know this, I know that, and they're going to be at my house, won't interview me within minutes. Because they want to jump on everything first. So if Jagger and Sammy just say, hey, there's a possibility she might, she goes to Reno a lot, maybe she went that way and something happened. The news could have just been like, oh, okay.
Well, I just thought of something, Clayton. And Repo, are you good? I know you're muted.
I'm good.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're still there. I just thought of something, though. Like, what's weird to me is that Napa is like 3 hours away. This just popped in my head. It's kind of random. But Napa's 3 hours away. Supposedly that's where Jagger was. And then you find out at like 9 a.m.-ish is when they went to Starbucks and realized like Kiely didn't show up to go camping. And then you have tow truck guy who says it was noon, and then he says 11 in the morning that day. And that would put Jagger leaving, and they say, oh, Jagger left. Sammy says Jagger left as soon as he heard she was missing. So that would put him getting there right at the same time as tow truck guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did tow truck guy bring the car there with them? Ugh, see, you start getting in these holes. Talk me down, Clayton. Repo, what's up? What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Actually, building a deck on my house, so that's why I was hesitant about coming on camera. But so I'll give everybody a quick background on myself. I am a repossession agent. I've been a repossession agent for about 20 years in Kentucky. I've worked in other states. I started out in the industry with the largest repo company in the continental United States. I've been as far out as Colorado. I've been down to Alabama. I've been to Georgia. I've repoed in, probably about 27 states. So
wow,
I've got a lot of years in it.
So you've seen a lot of crazy stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts?
Way crazier than a tow truck driver is going to see. First off, so I just recently got hooked on this true crime stuff. Actually, out repoing, I caught the Diesel Brothers video searching for Dylan Rounds, and then like all of a sudden, this Kiely case dominated, the Dylan Rounds situation. Both of them are just really weird. And like I said, I've never really been into the whole true crime thing. And I see so many fake people on these live streams that it's just not even funny.
Yeah.
Have
you ever watched me? I hope you don't think that I'm one of those.
I actually just caught you guys today.
Oh, so really? Well, welcome to my channel. I try not to be have any fake news on here. I try to make sure everything stays pretty factual. But I mean, we do speculate, and we have to, and we don't have all the answers. We have these little bits and pieces that we're putting together. Right.
No, and that's all. I don't have any problem with that. I mean, I do a lot of speculation myself, but I don't want to put anybody out there, but let's just say, I've seen these private investigators who make all these excuses on why they're not working in this state or that state. And I'm just here to tell you, I got 20 years in the industry, and you can't get one over on me. You're going to have to get up real early in the morning.
Yeah.
We got, and I'd like to ask Clayton, if he doesn't mind. Clayton, what kind of software you use, buddy, for finding people?
So we've got a system that is through the insurance company that I work for. They have their own database. And so it's able to pull like tag. I mean, I can run tag numbers. I can run just picture searches. I can.
So you don't have a name for the software?
No, it's I Guarantee is the software that we use. But like I said, it's owned by the company that I work for. So it's just their own private database.
Gotcha. I Guarantee is the name of the company.
Well, that's not the name of the insurance company. I'm not gonna put the insurance
company. Right. No, sir. I wouldn't ask you to do that. I meant that's the name of the software that you're using.
Yeah. So we use we use that, and like I said, it's a private database that only agents that work with my insurance company can get into.
I'm familiar with the company. Okay. So I'll tell.
Are you guys from the same area or what? Or
no,
just same industry, right?
I don't know. No, he sounds like he's probably from West Virginia or somewhere in there.
I'm somewhere from
Virginia. Okay.
South Carolina.
Okay.
Where are you from, Repo?
Kentucky?
That's kind of
close. I am. I'm in right dead in the middle of Kentucky.
I think that's what you said. Yeah.
Yep. So I'll tell everybody. There's nothing to hide as far as the software that we use to find people. I use IDI Core, and I
know all about them as well.
And I also use TLO. Are you familiar with that, with TLO as well?
I haven't used TLO, but I've used IDI Core a lot.
Okay, so you know that you give me about 5 minutes, I'm going to give you everybody in your family social security number, your credit scores, everything you've ever owned since you're 18 years of age, pretty much everything about you.
Every phone number you've had, every address you listed.
Everything. Am I right or wrong?
Friends that you don't even remember you had back in high school.
That's right. So when I hear people get on these panels and talk like they know something, it aggravates me to death. But I thought I could clear some stuff up about this tow truck guy.
Yeah.
Because during COVID, we got shut down. We wasn't allowed to repossess vehicles. So, I mean, I had almost a year that I've got trucks down. I've got to figure out how to keep this business going. So I looked into going into the tow business. Now, the difference is you call a tow truck, they're going to come get your car for $150. If you're doing work for AAA pays about $40 for a 15-mile radius. So unless you own a service shop or a body shop and you're actually taking that AAA car to your shop, you're not going to make a dime with AAA. So, doing work for them, unless you've got just like 100+ trucks or you own service shops, you don't want to work for AAA. But AAA uses mom and pop companies all over the United States. All of these companies do, not just AAA, every insurance company, everybody. I mean, you will get a text message with an address and a phone number, and will you take this job? Here's credit card payment, and you take it or you don't. And that's how that works. So as far as him keeping accurate records, if he doesn't own the company, some of the things that he says could make sense to me, because if you're not keeping up with this case and you don't know that this kid's missing, I mean, I don't know, him being right there in the same city that she's from, I find that highly unlikely that he wouldn't know that she's missing. But
hey, Repo, did you watch Doug
I guess it's possible.
On Popcorn Planet at all? Did you catch that interview?
With AWP?
Yeah, the bearded guy did a interview on there.
I did not catch the one on Popcorn, but I mean, I've definitely been paying attention to those guys.
Yeah, well, you should go watch that one, because he said straight up that he was actually taken back by the community support, and that everywhere he looked, there was a flyer. So I put that together with tow truck guy going, it was a week, but I work every week in Truckee, but I never saw one flyer. where Doug said he couldn't go anywhere without seeing one. So what do you think of that?
Well, here's what I think about this whole case. I'm a firm believer in believe half of what you see and nothing that you hear. You know, I know that's not the way that originally was supposed to go, but
none of what you hear.
I believe nothing that I hear from other people these days. I just don't.
Yeah.
I've seen so much crazy stuff in my business. And not just my business, especially since coronavirus. This the whole country's gone nuts. I'm just telling you.
I feel I
don't think things will ever
be
like they was pre-coronavirus. So,
no,
but
this is the new normal. Repo.
I guess. But so yeah, I mean, if he's from that same little community, I would find that really hard to believe that he's not aware of this girl missing. Now, I repo in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. If you don't know much about Louisville, Kentucky, we have the Kentucky Derby there. It's the 16th largest city in the nation. And if you want to get lost in a quickness, it's easy to get lost in this city. It's easy, really easy. I mean, that's what I do. I find people, and I'm faster than law enforcement ever thought about me. My livelihood depends on it. So, you know.
So how did you stay afloat during Corona?
Well, luckily, my wife is in the medical industry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Well, she's a nurse practitioner, okay, but she travels.
Mm-hmm.
So
good money in that, yeah. Just say no more.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Yeah, she's doing really,
Your
really
wife
well.
helped you through that. Good for her.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She's amazing.
That's awesome.
So, and I kind of got into it one night with Jim Terry on the live stream, and I was live, and people was commenting on my refrigerator and all kinds of crazy stuff. We do have a very nice place. And this guy tried to call me out and was like, this guy's wife's some kind of surgeon and this and that. And I'm like, wow, that's a really good put down, James Terry.
Oh,
so, but yeah, I mean, he was kind of on the money without knowing anything about me. You know, she was the backbone to keep us together. My business kind of went down, but her business, I mean, they just offered crazy money for women in nursing who was willing to travel.
Oh, I bet.
That's how we made it.
Well, you know, thank her for her service in doing that during the pandemic, because that couldn't have been easy for her to do.
Nope, and she's actually still doing it. She's still traveling. So.
Wow. So you have some alone time and you're on YouTube doing true crime?
That's pretty much that's pretty much what happened. I was, I listen to YouTube when I'm out repoing cars,
pass the time.
And right. And so I first seen the Dylan Rounds case on the Diesel Brothers, when they were out searching in the helicopter over Utah, and it kind of went from there.
Mm-hmm. So you got hooked. What do you think of the Dylan Rounds? What do you think of that case? What do you think happened? You got a theory or no?
Yeah, I got a theory. That kid seen something that he shouldn't have. He either found something out or he seen something that he shouldn't have, because you can take my word for it. You can believe me. You cannot believe me, but there's people out there, people's names who I've heard. And I'm just going to tell you, they got money. They got big money. I'm talking like, if you've ever seen the show Yellowstone, it's close to that family as far as money and lifestyle. And I think the kid seen something he shouldn't. I think a pro killed him.
Ooh.
I think that they've had too many people on it for too long in a hot place that's dry, and they haven't found not one piece of forensic evidence. I mean, that's what I'm going with.
Didn't they arrest someone who they were questioning, though? That James Brenner or whatever?
Yeah, they've got that old drunk guy.
I haven't heard anything else since then, so that's why I asked.
My opinion, I don't think that guy's capable.
You don't?
I mean, hell no. He's just like every other mad drunk ass guy around the world. I mean, he may have wanted Dylan gone or whatever. He may have had problems with him, but I mean, you got the FBI involved. Think about it. They've not found shit. They ain't found nothing on this kid.
No. Well, if they have, they have definitely haven't said. They might have. They might be working it behind the scenes.
I don't know.
What do you think about the law enforcement in Placer and surrounding areas?
I don't really want to comment on that because I'm not really out there. No, I mean, if I was out that way, I would really, if my wife was off, I almost probably would have went on vacation to Truckee just to kind of fill it out, because just everything about this case, nothing makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, I'm a guy with software, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Are you John McAfee? Just kidding.
Yeah.
He's really not dead, right?
I don't think so.
Clayton, I knew you'd say something. When you said Alex Jones, I'm like, he'll know who John McAfee is. Repo, I want to ask your opinion on something.
Sure.
Okay, so have you watched Ryan Upchurch? I'm just assuming you have. I should have asked. Okay.
Absolutely. So I've got guys that work for me that love Upchurch. They love his music. So
really?
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the music or nothing, but
yeah,
I know who he is. I keep up with him.
All right, cool. I figured if you follow this case, you'd know who he is by now if you didn't know before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I didn't know who he was before the Summer Wells case, because I don't listen to country music and nothing. I mean, I like Ryan Upchurch. I'm just saying I would have never came across him for the music, but I came across him with the true crime, and he's funny.
Right.
But did you watch his video where he showed her car in the middle of these woods and he's like, I just saw her car on Google Earth. Did you see that?
I didn't see that one.
No? He showed
I thought I've seen them all. I may have. I don't recall.
I think it was short. It was like a short.
I probably seen it. Was it like maybe 2 weeks ago?
Probably.
It's been weeks ago, right?
It was a while back, and I didn't pay much attention to it because at the time I thought he was like spiraling on this conspiracy thing, and now I'm paying attention more. So I went back and watched, and I think it's really interesting. So if that was her car, if he's correct, how did her car get in the middle of those woods and then back to Prosser Lake? Are you under the theory that car wasn't there when law enforcement searched and was put there later, or do you think it was always there and just missed?
So, no, I don't think that if that place was actually searched, I do not think that car was there. You're talking about, and this is where my expertise can come in. This is where I'll talk about it. You've got an SUV, a 2013 that's 5'9" in height. It's almost 6 foot tall. In low depths of water, it's 10 foot under. So you've got 4 foot of water? Okay, murky water. I don't give a shit. A helicopter on a sunny day, you're going to catch a glare or something, dude. It's just the way it is. So
okay, so it's one of two things in your eyes then. Either A, they didn't search it, or B, they did and nothing was there. I mean, really, those are the two conclusions,
correct.
Right?
That's it.
And what do you think is the most logical? Because if they didn't search at all, don't you think that people there would have been like, dude, I mean, there was a guy on Twitter that said there was no one there, that he didn't see anyone there, but that's one person.
I mean,
so
I'm going to have to go with that because I want to give I want to be one of those guys that back law enforcement.
Yeah, me too.
We need law enforcement. Yeah. We just do. Okay. And
without them, we would have chaos,
right?
I mean,
I've never. Oh, we would totally. And in my industry, believe it or not, a cop cannot come tell me to put a car down. If he does, I'm going to tell him to kiss my ass and keep walking. But with a good working relationship, I cannot ask a cop for help, but he can assist me all day long. So I keep a great relationship with law enforcement, and I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt and think that they're not part of something nefarious. But I mean, I'm having a really hard time with that.
I'm having a hard time with the fact that the investigation was only being conducted by Placer County. Sorry, I always say it wrong. Placer County, excuse me, and Nevada County for the first couple days. So it didn't really branch out until after that. And that bothers me.
Yeah. So I don't know. The first couple of days, I could see that maybe being a normal thing.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. But in
like
hindsight,
yeah, in my state, I mean, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah. I think
for
you're
at
right.
least for at least a week.
Yeah, you're right. You're
right.
right.
Probably longer. So,
you're right.
The local guys should be capable.
They should be.
Yeah, I mean, we're just talking about a teenage kid that, I mean, that's going to be the first place you're going to look.
Yeah, so it's really interesting how quickly the FBI stepped in, right? So like Placer County and Nevada County had it. And then all of a sudden we saw California Highway Patrol at one of the press conferences. And then we saw the FBI after that. So I'm wondering like what prompted the FBI to get involved so quickly, because usually we don't see that unless there's something over state lines or if there's something, deeper going on,
I mean, even Highway Patrol, I mean, I've been out to California. My father, actually, he's from Las Vegas. And my dad's whole family's from Las Vegas. And growing up, my father built communication towers in California. So, I've been Sacramento, I've been to Lake Tahoe, but, I was a teenager at the time.
Yeah. I've never been out there, so.
But I don't know the chain of command as far as law enforcement. In Kentucky, we have, our highway patrol, they are Kentucky State Police. They are the state police. So I'm going to assume that highway patrol is the California State Police. So they don't just handle highway stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you start
that.
involving, correct. So that's what I'm assuming that their chain of command would be. So when you're getting, multiple counties, federally funded land, like these reservoir parks. I mean, come on. I've never been, and we've got a camper. We go camping all the time. As a matter of fact, my mom and my kids, they're all camping right now. I'm stuck at home by myself. They're all camping for the holiday weekend at Land Between the Lakes in Kentucky. These places all they either have campground staff, or if you're at a federally funded place, they've got park rangers, dude. I've never been in a park that didn't have quiet time. Like, where in the hell do you go to a campground at that you can get 300 people and just show out?
Well, now we're hearing like it's upwards almost 500.
Yeah, where'd they do that at? Show me a campground.
Yeah, especially when there was campers at the campground they're camping. Right? I mean, they're going to be complaining. I don't know who they complain to. I don't think there's anyone there, but you can call the cops, right? Is that why everybody's scattered?
I mean, I would have thought there would have been a park ranger somewhere close or something to that extent. Right.
Is it unmanned? Like, is it totally unmanned? I don't know.
I don't know either. I haven't looked into it that much.
Yeah, me either. I mean, I heard it was unmanned, but I don't know.
And it may be, but in that situation, then law enforcement should be in charge of it. Local law enforcement, you would think that they would be patrolling and they wouldn't. I mean,
you would think, listen to this shit. Listen to this shit, Repo. I had a lady that listens to me named Verna who lives out there. She lives in Truckee, and she went to that place for me and like videoed. We went live, and she got there, and there was a dude out there with no pants on right at the party site. He was out there in the middle of the day, and he stepped out of his car, and he was just in his underwear and a shirt. and he saw her and he did not go away. It was creepy as hell. And I was like, dude, if you need to leave, leave. But I mean,
Wow.
if you're seeing that in the middle of the day there, what do you think's going on there at night? I mean, that's just creepy as hell.
I would agree, and see, and I find that so hard to believe, but that goes back to we're in that time of the whole nation is nuts now. When I was a kid, like I said, I used to go to California as a kid to visit my father in San Francisco. Oh my God, it was amazing. The smell of the brakes on the cars, the cable cars, it's just something that's unforgettable. My wife was there nursing just last year. You have to have a poop app to walk down the street. You will step in human shit or step on a needle.
What?
It's yeah, absolutely.
No,
like there's people.
There's apps for that?
There, swear to God, you can make $250,000 a year being a human pooper scooper there. Keep in mind the cost of living's a lot higher, so 250 a year's not. I mean, that's good money. Don't get me wrong, but
living in California, it's not.
Yeah, it's not enough for me to scoop human waste up. That's for sure. But I mean, in broad daylight, you literally have people taking a crap on the sidewalk, shooting up.
Oh my God, it's so sad. I don't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing because you said a poop app. Like I've never.
Look it up.
I believe you. I do.
Yeah, and that's just that's insanity. I mean, I'm 41 years old. It ain't been that long ago since I was, 15, 16 years old. That's a huge difference. I mean, like I said, right after I was out there when I was like 13. Spent like my 13th birthday out there. So yeah, California used to be awesome, and it's just it's crazy everywhere you go there. Yeah, I mean, my wife was in San Francisco. She was in Los Angeles, and she's just like, "Oh my God, it's horrible."
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live there. People are leaving there by the droves. They're moving out of California.
Right. They are. And
they're moving to Florida. That's where I'm at. It's like, stop.
right. Florida and Texas. Florida and Texas is the place to go.
Florida hates California. Like, our governor hates them. Like, oh man, we could talk about that, but
go ahead. Can I jump in for just a second?
Go ahead.
I wanted to clear up a couple of the things that I've heard. I've just been kind of sitting back and listening.
Sure, go ahead.
As far as why the different agencies get involved. Okay, so Prosser County is where the incident happened, which is inside of Nevada County, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that right? Prosser is inside of Nevada County, so that would be two agencies there that would automatically be involved.
Right. So the Nevada and Placer.
I'm sorry.
Or Placer, what? Yeah.
So those two would be involved from the get-go. Then from there, depending on where the investigation goes. So like in South Carolina, I know he was talking about the Kentucky State Patrol. In South Carolina, our state patrol, all they do is traffic. So that's all they do. They don't respond to calls. If there's a murder investigation, they're not there. All they do is traffic enforcement. Mm-hmm. That's all they're there for.
Michigan State Police is the same.
So if I go out on the road and I get in an accident, my local county sheriff's office or my city police department is not going to be the one to respond to that accident, to take the incident report and all that stuff. It's going to be the highway patrol. So the highway patrol comes out and works any kind of car accidents or anything involving a roadway. So if there's a vehicle versus a pedestrian or anything like that, highway patrol is going to come and work it. So in this case, whenever we're talking about a vehicle and a possibility of that vehicle being in an accident and running off the road, that would be why State Patrol would get involved. So from what I'm understanding as far as the FBI goes, is when there's more than three agencies or three or more agencies involved in the situation, that's an automatic notification for the FBI. So they have to notify the FBI to say, hey, we've got this situation going on. We've got these agencies working on it. We may need y'all to come in and help out.
That makes sense. Thanks for clarifying that.
And the reason that is because you're talking about a lot of manpower and a lot of places. I mean, you're like in my town, there's only like 9 officers on a shift. So if something big like this happens and you pull all the resources in, there's nobody to actually work the rest of the town that's still happening. I mean, all the normal everyday things are still going on around this situation. So there's not enough manpower to take care of this, and everything else needs to be taken care of as well.
Right.
So that's why you bring in other agencies to try to help take that caseload off.
That makes sense.
So and then also the FBI are supposed to be notified. Now, it doesn't necessarily say that they're going to get involved, but any missing person case of anybody under the age of 18 is an automatic notification for the FBI. So they're automatically notified for any child that's going to miss. Any missing person case that's involving a child is an automatic notification for the FBI. Now, like I said, that doesn't mean they're going to jump in and get involved. That just means that, hey, we know about it. We're on standby. If you need us, let us know. So that's where the FBI would come in.
Okay. Thank you for looking that up and clarifying that, or whatever you did. I thank you for clarifying that, because it makes sense. I didn't know that if more agencies were involved, that's when they bring in the FBI. I've always thought it was like it had to go over state lines, or like it had to be like something that they needed more extensive, like forensics and things like that.
Yeah, there's probably like 10 or 15 different checks that they go through to get FBI involved, and all they need is one of them. So there's a checklist that they go through and say, okay, do we have this situation here? Okay, check it, yes, and that means the FBI needs to be notified.
So I'll buy that. I mean, that's pretty logical. I live in probably a smaller town than what it sounds like even you live in. I'm actually, we've got like 40 acres. We're actually not in city limits, but there is a little city, if you want to call it that, and they have probably a total of 5 city cops, and we have a county sheriff's department. But the state boys, they take care of a lot of stuff that's not inside city limits. They
like here in South Carolina, we have our state. Like I know you were saying in Kentucky, the state police is the highway patrol. So here we have 2 different divisions. We have state highway patrol, which only works accidents involving vehicles. That's all they work.
Right.
That's all they do. They do traffic stops. They do all that kind of stuff. Then we have the other agency, which is called SLED, or State Law Enforcement Division, and they are basically a tier down from the federal FBI, and they're the state's version of that. So just like in Tennessee, they have the TBI, which is the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, the TBI in Georgia. So that's your state law enforcement, which when they get called into a bigger case like this, they'll work that. So I'm sure California has that as well. So you're talking the city, the county, the highway patrol, and whatever their state agency would be. And then the FBI coming in as well. So you're talking 5 or 6 different agencies working on it.
So in my area, and I'm sure it's the same in South Carolina, I don't know. Jay, have you heard of Crystal Rogers?
Crystal Rogers? No.
Yes. Have you heard of that case?
No, I have not.
It was huge.
Where is that at?
It's in Bardstown, Kentucky. The Rogers case. The FBI is all up in it. Supposedly, they got somebody they're getting ready to take down. It's been like, almost 8, 9, 10 years, something like that. I live like 15 minutes from that place.
Wow.
Law enforcement's dirty. The cornbread mafia is there. I mean, this is real shit. And I'm talking about, I live out in the country, man. Like, people come up missing out here all the time. It's got to be big for the FBI to get involved. Now, when it is a minor, that trumps everything. So let's get back to this Kiely thing, and let me throw this out there for you.
Okay.
This is what sucks the most about this case, because it just aggravates me to death, because it's just nothing is right with it. But not even my software, not even my friends in law enforcement. It doesn't matter. This chick is a minor. So whether she's real or not, we will never know.
Right. Right.
There is absolutely no way we could prove this unless the mother came out and God bless her if this is real. My heart goes out to them. We've got 6 kids. They're all grown, fortunately. So, but
yeah, my kids are as well. And I'm so
glad
because I hate the world right now. And I wouldn't want my kids to be teenagers in this world right now. Mine are all in their 20s, right. And thank God.
Well, mine are pretty much all in their 20s. We've still got a couple that are in their late teens, but fortunately, they're not out.
They were over that hump probably before COVID hit. That's kind of how I feel. My kids were already past that crazy stage before COVID hit, and then the pandemic hit, and everything went nuts.
Right. So, but I mean, the truth is, and who knows, maybe this girl was a huge Ryan Upchurch fan. So, maybe her mom will take that in consideration and say, you know what? I hear all this going on, and here is
the truth.
The truth, and here's her birth certificate and her social and this and that. And
would you do that, Repo, if you were her? Would you?
Oh, I absolutely would.
Would you?
To prove that my child was real?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. Hang on just 1 second. My neighbors are here.
Okay, no problem.
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. What do you think of that, Clayton?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to put myself in that position if I was the mother. I mean, there's 2 ways to try to handle it: either ignore it or face it. And
it's kind of hard to ignore when someone who has that many viewers.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Is getting that attention, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it's like I said, the biggest thing with and I have to say this because I don't want to sound like I'm just dogging on the guy, but he's brought a lot of eyeballs to this case, and not only this case, but other cases that he followed, and that's 100% appreciated, and mad respect to him for that.
Yeah. I don't hold any ill will towards anything he's done, because I think you have to take everything with a grain of salt, and we are responsible for interpreting and reiterating things we hear. So if I go listen to Ryan Upchurch, I'm putting that just in a pocket in my mind, and then I'm moving forward and discussing this case, and then something he says might come into play. You know what I mean?
Can I comment just 1 second
absolutely.
on Ryan?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I feel bad for that guy right now, because I'm gonna tell you what. From what I've seen of him, he's not far from me. I'm not an hour and a half from Nashville. I think that guy's got a Hellcat and $100,000 that's burning a hole in his pocket, and he wanted to spend that money, and he wanted to donate that car to do something good, but he is fighting a war in his mind right now. That's what I think. I think that for anybody out there who wants to say something bad about him, I think the guy was looking to do something good and still is, and he's fighting some demons right now because he don't know what to do.
He's definitely in a position.
I think he's just went so far down that road that there is no turning around now. There is no him just stepping back and saying, okay, I may have got a little off track there. Let's try to figure this thing out. I think he's gotten so deep into it that he has to keep going this direction, just to save face for his own people.
I agree.
Yeah.
You think he's gotten so far into it that he just can't turn back?
And his followers, they trust everything that he says. So he's got all these people that are hyping him up and right behind him and jumping on the bandwagon with him. And so if he turns around at this point and just says, everybody, I made a mistake or whatever, then they're all going to think one thing about him.
It's okay to say you're wrong, though. Like I do it all the time.
I don't know.
I completely agree.
I got mixed feelings about that, because when he was on Zav Girl with Jared, did you guys catch that one?
Yeah, I watched that.
Yes, absolutely.
So I got the impression that he was kind of backpedaling there a little bit, you know.
Well, and that's my whole problem with his theory, is that his theory is his theory until somebody that's involved comes on the screen, and then that theory just goes completely away. And then as soon as that person goes back off the screen, he's right back to his theory.
So for me, you know, in my line of work, people pay me to recover something for them, whether it be a car. I mean, I stick to mostly automotive, but I've repoed helicopters before. I mean, I'll repo anything that somebody wants to pay me to repo. I'm legal to repossess anything, but I get caught up in what people say all the time. People's telling me, I can promise you this. First off, you can't put anybody's business out there, so like it's illegal for me to go to somebody's house that I'm repossessing their car and go tell their neighbor, hey, your neighbor's car is up for repo. I can say, hey, does such and such still live next door? And you can look at my truck and probably guess why I'm asking, but I can't say, hey, they ain't paid their bills, I'm trying to take their shit, But everybody knows what I do. So when I pull up, I got people coming out the woodwork in some of these places, and I think people are quick to speak, but
yeah, to not law enforcement, right?
Right. No, definitely nobody wants to talk to law enforcement. That's anywhere you go.
Did you notice that in one of Doug's tweets that when they first got there, that he included his email for people to reach out? I thought that was really interesting. I think that people would be comfortable coming to someone like him.
It is clear to the most casual observer that things aren't right with this case. And if you want to have the debate whether this girl is real or fake, because, obviously Church came out with his video last night.
Oh, yeah, the C or K.
And that plants, right, and that, that plants a seed in everybody that sees that, including me, a 41-year-old man who believes nothing that he hears and half of what he sees.
Yeah.
But what's that lead me to do? A simple Google search. Now, listen, just because I own these softwares, just because I pay for these, listen, I respect these companies. I can't just go jump on and pull your information up. That's not, that. I mean, and that's where when people start getting into the true crime stuff and they're talking about their private investigators and they're putting this person's information out. Bullshit. You put somebody's information out like that, you're done. You're done. Period. I don't just go look everybody up. I don't have to do that.
So did you cross-check this stuff, this C versus K?
So, I mean, obviously I would never confirm or deny, but I mean, obviously,
I can.
So
confirm or deny.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, go ahead. I mean, if you want to confirm,
well,
you do what you want.
I'll be 100% honest. I didn't put anything in any database that I got. All I did was I did the exact research that Ryan said that he did, and I found something completely different.
Wait a second. I think Ryan just joined. Hey, Ryan. Do you want to come up? Thanks for becoming a reverter. Ryan's a reverter.
Oh wow! Did he really just join?
He really did.
That's awesome. Bring him up.
I know.
Bring him up.
So last night when I was on Dolly's and Ryan came up right after I got off. I listened to what he said and we watched his video and all that stuff and I just wanted to see for myself if the stuff that he found through the TikToks and all that stuff was right. But I found a completely different account. And in that account, it had a link to an Instagram. And when I went to that Instagram, it had a link to another social media that I've never heard of. I've never even heard of this company. But scrolling through those pictures, I found the picture from the what was the name of the app that had the picture of the girls in the car and
The
the other
Be
two girls
Real?
up on the roof?
Be
So I
real.
found that picture in those pictures.
You're kidding.
Picture. But it's a completely different TikTok from what Ryan was saying. It's a completely different person.
But see, check this out. See, you know, I don't really have a lot of social media. My kids, they've got Instagram and all this shit, and what I do have, I'm not gonna lie to you, most of it's fake, because if I reach out to somebody, it's usually for work purposes, and I don't want them to know who I really am. So I don't have a lot of social media. So I haven't done that kind of research. But check it out. A simple Google search on Kiely Rodni. Tell me where I can find a picture of this girl with her family.
I completely agree. There's some weird stuff.
Where's a picture of this girl? I mean, every one of them looks like this chick is on vacation somewhere, and there's like a different family, different color, different ethnicity of people, and like all of these photos, they all look cropped and edited. And Upchurch is right about the teeth pattern. I mean, the teeth look edited on a lot of these videos, and this is a simple Google search. This ain't me digging into any kind of invasive software, because I mean that would just be.
But if
I mean, I wouldn't.
But
like
you know
I said,
what,
I'd never
Repo?
confirm
Like,
or deny.
if her family had social media, there'd probably be more of a digital footprint. So like,
wouldn't you think?
Well, but they don't. Like, they don't even have Wi-Fi at that lodge. So like,
right.
Why would they're disconnected from the virtual world? So that doesn't make them not real.
Right. And I agree totally.
I think we're in this world where we think if people aren't plastered all over Google that they don't exist, and that's not true.
No.
No. But you look at, like if you look up my mom's name on Google, you're not going to find a fucking picture of her.
Listen.
Right? Because she wasn't on there.
Right. And even me as a business owner, you're not going to, if you know my real name, you're not going to Google me and find a picture of me. But what I'm getting at is, though, this girl is missing. Like, all these pictures that's been put out, we've seen her dad on video. We've seen her mom. I don't know if anybody's seen them together. I haven't. But in all of these pictures of Kiely, not one with family. Not one. That's weird. I'm sorry. That's just weird.
Maybe.
I mean.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that when something like this happens to a 16-year-old girl, agencies start suppressing pictures, start suppressing social media accounts.
Bingo.
They do.
They start having all that stuff down.
Bingo. Absolutely.
And
license plates, all that stuff. So just like IDI Core, TLO, the companies that I use, and if anybody on this stream questions if I'm legit, just Google those companies, give them a call, find out what you need to be a subscriber. You will find this has not been verified. This is not Intellius. This is not something that you can get as a member of the public. I mean, you got to jump through hoops, and that's what I'm saying. Me confirming or denying, pulling somebody's information, I just would never do it,
No.
But
no, because those companies keep reports of everybody that you pull, and if they find something weird that you're pulling,
right,
they're going to want to ask questions, and you're going to have to answer those questions.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ryan, I put the link in the chat, but I haven't seen him join yet, so I don't know if he has Zoom or what. I haven't heard anything back.
I mean, I'd love to hear more from him.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, it sounds like you and him kind of have some of the same views, right? I mean,
but see, I'm not one of those guys that's into conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not. I talk more with facts. Facts mean more to me.
So that's why you're saying when you did a Google, you didn't see anything, right. So you think.
Listen, guys. If my kid is missing, I just told everybody on here, I got 6 kids. Me and my wife, we have 6 kids between us.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one that's overseas right now. He's in the Air Force. He went into intelligence. He became an officer, and now he's learning to fly. but he's still in intelligence. I can tell you what he does. He briefs F-35 pilots. They just bombed Syria. But I can tell you, if something happened to him, even overseas, dude, the pictures that I'm going to put out, you're going to see me and my wife. You're going to see his brothers and sisters. You're going to see pictures of his family. And he's a grown up on the other side of the globe right now. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
I guess. I mean, I'm not on the same page as you with that.
If my kid goes missing and I'm putting out pictures to the press, you know, you're gonna see me and my family in those pictures. It's not just gonna be a picture of that one kid.
Well, there was pictures of her and her mom.
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them together. I haven't. I mean,
I saw at least two, I think, of her and her mom.
Is that it?
I mean, off the top of my head, I never really gave it much thought. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't.
And I didn't either. Mm-hmm. I did not either until I hear Upchurch. And I'm like, you know what? Because, you know, again, I won't confer or deny whether I've looked anybody up. But, hey, there very well could be some people that he's mentioned, maybe even creators, that may have LLCs tied to them with ridiculous amounts of money and really no business to show for it. You know, that could be true. That could be false.
Mm-hmm. Clayton, what do you think? Clayton's the voice of reason on this panel.
No, I mean, I'm since day one of this thing, I thought there was something weird. But I'm just not at the point where I'm going to go as far as to say that this isn't a real person. This isn't a real case. That's how I feel. I think the weirdness is inside the crime. I think the weirdness is inside what happened to her and how she got where she got. I don't think the weirdness is that everybody's making everything up and it's all fake.
And I'm not willing to say that either. We are in agreement there. I wouldn't do that. I couldn't. I can't go that far just to say that this child does not exist. But I mean, nothing about it makes sense.
And I'll go as far as to say this: when I watched Ryan's video last night, he had the picture of the Kiely girl, and then in the background in a parking lot, there's a car that looks like it could be a CRV, and he automatically says, "Oh, that's her car." It's like I drive down the road all the time, and now that I've been watching this case, I see CRVs everywhere. I mean. That doesn't prove anything to me. So
it doesn't to me either. You're correct. You know, I mean, I say it all the time.
And then the fact, and then the fact that the TikTok that he used to prove his point in this video is not the same TikTok that I found that's linked to a Visco account that has the exact picture that everybody's showing of the people in the car with the two people up top. It's a different TikTok with a different person.
Well, let me ask you
I could be sitting here saying that I found something that's weird, but it's just.
Let me ask you this: have you done any searching on anybody that you'd comment is? I mean, just maybe kind of like what I did. Did you maybe find anything?
I haven't attempted that just because I didn't even want. Because the reason I haven't and the reason I'm not going to is because I work for a company. And my company gets my reports of everybody I search. And if they see me searching certain stuff, they're probably going to have some questions. Well, and I don't even want to go there.
Well, company information is public information. So the information that I'm talking about on the LLC, I mean, that's something that if anybody knows where to look, they'll be able to find it. And I'm not going to say their name, but, you know.
Well, can I ask you something, Repo?
He was all over something. Yes.
I have a question, Repo. So if you think it's possible this chick isn't real.
I'm not going to.
I'm just saying. Okay, let's say hypothetically speaking, she isn't real. Let's say just hypothetically speaking.
Then nothing in the world makes sense to me. I don't see what the motive.
In the Sam Howell, are you going to get all these motherfuckers up in Truckee to all go along with it? I mean, you had a lady come out of the woodwork and say she worked at this coffee house or whatever.
What's the motive for the FBI? What's the motive? I mean, this would take an immaculate effort by everyone. to pull something like this off.
Well,
if she's fake, and I just don't see the motive. Not a couple $100,000. I mean,
people have done more for less.
I mean,
just saying.
I don't know. You're talking about.
I mean, I've heard of hitmen getting, a grand, $2,000 to kill someone.
Oh,
I mean, things happen.
You could go to Louisville. You could go to Louisville and give a crackhead $50 to kill somebody. He might do it or he might not. I mean,
I mean, dude, if corruption is that deep in law enforcement, then I'm gonna have a serious like breakdown because I need to trust law enforcement.
Absolutely. That's what I said. If it turned out that Ryan was right and this girl really that none of this is real, I mean, then what in the world could we ever trust again? And I'm just not willing to say, I'm not willing to go that far, but I am willing to say that even a simple image Google search, you're seeing photos that are obviously photoshopped, obviously edited. And that shit's just weird. If my kid is missing, I'm going to give you legit pictures, because I want people to be looking for my actual kid, So I'm going to give you as much accurate information about them as I possibly can. And if damn sure somebody's on the internet claiming that they're not real, I'm breaking out birth certificates, social security cards, whatever. But that's, I don't expect them to be like me. I'm a different kind of guy. But, who knows? Her parents may not know anything about this,
Known anything about what?
As far as Upchurch.
Upchurch is ready. Let me send him the link again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Are you ready for Upchurch?
Hell yeah.
All right. All right, let me put the link in the chat. Where the hell did my chat go? I got too many windows open. I'll give it to one of the mods. Can you guys put that up in chat for him? Potato, I just sent it to you. So interestingly enough, while we're having this discussion, I got texted a picture. So let's go ahead and put the picture up. Give me a sec. I got to send it from my phone. But it's a picture of Kiely and her parents. But of course, it's in front of the lodge like all the other pictures we've seen on Google. All right, let's pull that up. Let's pull this bad boy up and see where we stand. All right, here you go. So this is what I was just texted. Can you guys see it? Let me move it up.
Can you text that to us?
Yeah, why not? All right. You want it too, Clayton?
Yeah. You can send it to.
Okay, I don't have you guys saved. So, are you 864?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. All right, and what's your last 2 digits, Repo?
I'm not sure. It should start 502 or 270.
Yeah, I just got it. So that's definitely a younger picture of her, like much younger. She looks like she's probably 6, 7.
And that's what I'd be interested in seeing.
All right, here. I'm sending it to you right now. I found you.
Gotcha.
I just had to scroll through the text. All right, there you go. You've got it too. And then I was sent a
the mom
link.
is very distinct. the mom has a look that's very distinct, so I can say that definitely looks like the mother.
Yeah.
The dad with the beard and the long hair looks completely different, but that would make anybody look completely different.
Okay, this is actually the Lost Trail Lodge's Instagram. So I'm gonna send you guys the link. Someone just sent me. Wow. Okay, hold up.
Okay, so you said this is from the lodge's Instagram?
That's what it looks like.
Because I mean, again, I could pick that photo apart. I mean, it does. I will say that does look like a legit picture of what an older picture should look like of the dad, like the longer hair. I've seen him. I've seen him on the AWP video. I mean, those two look like they should. But Kiely being a small child there, she obviously looks completely different, but she looks like what you would think she would look like.
Well, it still looks like her as a little girl,
No,
Hey, Ryan.
It does. It does.
I'm not sure where I'm at.
Can you not see your... You're over here by Jagger. Sorry. I'll move him. You're on the far right.
Oh.
You see
Jay,
yourself?
I'm going to send you the TikTok that I found, too.
Okay, I'm going to send you guys the link to this Instagram. What's up, Ryan? Oh, this is the stepdad. I just was told. He's the stepdad.
Okay.
The bearded guy is stepdad. Yeah, because I didn't see stepdad out there at all.
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
Ryan.
That looks just like a short-haired version.
It looks like what?
It looks like a short-haired version of the guy that was on AWP to me. The one that said, "I'm not going to stick around. I don't want this to be my last memory of Kiely," which that would make sense as a father.
Yeah, I thought the dad was scraggly and then he shaved, like he cleaned up for the situation.
I mean, obviously I don't have them two pictures together, but I don't know, that kind of, I mean, that from what memory serves, that looks like that could be a version of him older or younger with longer hair.
This is the TikTok.
But the lighting and everything like that, I could still pick it apart. It almost looks photoshopped to me, if that makes sense at all.
Well, like I said, that photo is like one you see if you look up the lodge. Like that photo I've put on tons of my thumbnails,
Gotcha. Upchurch, what's up, man?
What's up, Skin? What y'all doing?
Hey, welcome to panel, buddy. Ryan. How you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
Doing great.
Good.
So what's up? What's going on in your brain right now?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing? I don't believe that for a second.
I don't believe that. I don't believe it a bit.
Oh man, I'm over here actually going through a lot of different pictures from some accounts. Dude, who's running this page? Where I can't really see. I got my glasses on. Oh, Jay.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram? I want to send you this picture and see what you think.
Let me see if I can even log into my Instagram. Ryan, I'm old. I don't really typically Instagram, but I do have one. Too. I just don't use it much.
And Ryan, I was telling Jay a while ago, I watched your video and stuff last night. And so I found another TikTok that's a completely different TikTok than the one that you found. It is the same name. It's Kiely Ross. And it says Tahoe, and then it's got an Instagram link to it. I went to that Instagram, and then I went to I forget what the name of that other app is.
Be Real?
No, it wasn't Be Real. It was Visco, VSCO.
What the heck is that?
So I've never heard of it. But if you go to it, the picture of the girls in the car, this picture, I don't know if you can see it, trying to get it, that picture.
Oh, yeah.
Is on that Visco. But that's a completely different TikTok than the one that you were showing. So that's what didn't make any sense. It was like, because I was looking for the TikTok that you found, which I found, but there was a separate TikTok.
Each person has two pages.
You're talking about the Kiely with the C? Is that what you were going to send me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I looked it up after your
Actually,
video.
no. What I'm going to send you involves Gabby Petito, but I found it looking at Kiely Rodni hashtags.
Oh, for God's sakes.
In Tahoe.
I can't. I cannot.
You'll get freaked out if you see it.
Well, send it to my Instagram. It's at, and then it's JAY is, and then the number 4 justice. So J is number 4 justice is my thing. And I'm going to go get my laptop because it's logged in on that. So
Okay.
I'll be right back, you guys. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves.
So, and also, Church, this is the TikTok that you showed on your video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now private.
Oh, I know. Did you see Kiely Rodni's original Instagram this morning? All the posts
Yeah,
are
I saw
deleted.
last night whenever you said that it was all deleted.
But
Yeah,
wouldn't you delete it, Ryan, though? If you're like, if that was your kid, like, wouldn't you want that gone? Or no?
I mean, yeah, but I would have deleted it a long time ago.
True. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. All right, you guys, I'll be right back.
Shoot.
But yeah, looking at so I was looking for the TikTok that you showed last night, and that's when I found this other one and it had Tahoe as like the description.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a completely different girl. Like the girl in those videos is a completely different girl than the one that you showed in your video. And then when, like I said, when you go to the Instagram that's linked to, and then it's got a Visco account that's linked there, that picture from the car is in that Visco account. And this girl's name is Callie Ross, so that would make sense as to why the watermark on that picture was Callie Ross. That would link back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense.
And like for whoever was talking about the CRV earlier, I didn't. If you go watch it, I didn't say that was her car. But what I was saying was, this picture has that car in it with the female actually in the picture. There's no Kiely Rodni pictures with her actually with a CRV at all.
Oh, repo.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of weird stuff around this. I mean, there definitely is, but I just can't bring myself. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I was telling Jay. I mean, just driving around in my town, I see them all the time now. I've never looked for them before now, and then now all of a sudden they're everywhere.
Yeah, but yeah, I get you, but I mean, hell, I got a CRV at my crib. It's my mom's. But the only thing was there when it comes to Kiely with a K, you can't find no pictures with her with a CRV. It just so happens that this Kiely girl that looks damn near just like her in the background is an actual physical silver CRV.
Well, I mean, this, I don't know if you've seen me on any of the streams or not, but I've got about 10 years experience in law enforcement. So I've got a little bit of knowledge about how they work things like this.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things they do, whether you're a suspect or a victim in a case, is they will try their best to take control over all of your social media.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing they do. The reason is because they want to pull everything down before anybody, because let's say in this situation, let's say the ex-boyfriend has her account information for her social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say he had an involvement and he logs in and just starts clearing everything out, and then they have to go another route to try to get everything. So they want to get those accounts secured and in their own hands so that they can start going through it and figuring everything out. So to me, that's why there's not a lot of pictures out there, is because they've taken control of it. As soon as they got involved and wiped everything off the internet, they've got it all to themselves. That's my thought process.
Yeah. Only problem I see with that is the Instagram that was promoted in the beginning, that they said, hey, this is hers. And the cops said, hey, this is hers. The case has been going on this long and the pictures just got deleted 7 hours ago.
Yeah,
well, they just sent me, Ryan, this
odd.
Instagram for the Lost Trail Lodge while we were live. And they're like, scroll back and see all the old posts. But can't these be like created too? Like,
oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
like to make it look old. I'm old, Ryan. So you know, I'm not up on all this like fake technology shit.
Yeah.
But I have seen this picture. So who is this dude? I thought that was her dad. Cause like, Check this out.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, this dude is on the
Where'd you get that guy?
It's on the Lost Trail Lodge Instagram. So that looks
that
like
picture?
the same dude. But then when you see the dad, like he's all clean shaven, but then Tony, the husband, is nowhere to be found. So I've been asking, like, where the fuck is Tony? Because where is he? Like, she was saying, oh, no one called me or Tony to say she was found, but like, where's Tony?
What is that Instagram?
Lost Trail Lodge.
Here,
I'll show you. Wait, there's another one.
That's very weird because what you're showing me and what I just sent you is going to be weird now.
Imagine that. But
go if you check your DM. Let me know.
All right, let me get on my laptop because for some fucked up reason I need that authentication thing, and I don't have it set up, so I can't get in.
You said it's called Lost Trail?
Yes.
Lost Trail Lodge.
Yeah. Hang on. Bear with me here.
Oh, you're okay.
I mean, it's full of all the missing pictures and everything over. I'm looking at it now.
Oh my God. Dude, no way, dude.
Why? What's up? What do you, I mean.
I'm about to.
Well, you know what else? Let me show you guys something else that I found. You're going to think I'm nuts, but like, hang on.
Oh my God, there's no way, dude.
All right.
I ain't gonna say it on here because this is your channel. I'm gonna send it to you in your DM, but I think you're about to be like, what? Oh my gosh. And that picture I just sent you, I found that in Tahoe, Lake Tahoe, under the hashtag Kiely Rodni. Keep in mind, this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, every hashtag of Kiely Rodni that was at 5 o'clock in the morning was deleted. I have a post, I have it screen recorded where we refreshed it, and then one post was up. 5 minutes later, 3 posts was up. And now if you refresh it, I don't know, but they wiped all the Kiely Rodni hashtags this morning at 5. I still got my OBS screen recording from then. It's been going for 6 hours just in case I come in here and look at something.
Yeah, I was watching last night whenever you said that, and I went on mine and searched it, and it said 500 plus posts. So I was a little confused as to why mine was different than yours. But
well, I mean, heck, it should be thousands.
Yeah, but I think that if you hashtag anything, I think it maxes out at just as 500 plus.
Oh, it does.
So it just, I mean, that's what I'm assuming.
You're probably right. I mean, I guess I do got to cap it off somewhere.
So if I go to just tags, now it just says 518 posts. Or now it says 500 plus posts, what it says. So,
do you guys think though that like these kids could make something like this, make it look this way so that it looks fake, so that
I think the kids are over. I don't think Sammy and I'll be specific. I don't think Sammy and Mags are teenagers.
You don't?
No.
You think they're in their 20s?
I think they're like anywhere from 22 to maybe max 25.
That's interesting because we kind of found the same thing.
And if you notice how she talks, she's calling the kids at the party the teenager kids at the party.
Yeah, you're right. She did.
And it's like, well, I don't know any teenagers that say, yeah, all the teenage kids are being, teenage kids at the party.
Yeah, but wasn't this party supposedly like a senior send-off? So
yes, ma'am.
Could you send me that stuff to my email because I can't get in my Instagram?
Oh yeah.
I'll just give it.
I tell you what. Are you on your mobile?
Yeah. Can you just text it to that number? 727.
Yes.
If you just, I don't know, what would be the easiest way? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. I usually don't text.
Oh, well, you can email it.
I'm not. No, it's not that. It's just I've had 2 phones get hacked this week.
Gotcha.
Because of all this. Let me see. Well, yeah, what's your email?
Okay, so it's gonna be the letter J, number 4.
Hold on. It's J.
Yep.
4.
J4, and then another J, and then podcast team at Gmail. Thank you.
Alrighty, no problem. Oh man, dude, you're about to be like, what?
I know, I'm kind of scared, but.
Oh god, dude.
Every time I watch your videos, I start going in a rabbit hole and then I have to climb out. It's too easy to get in those rabbit holes, you know?
That's how you find the bad stuff.
Yeah, but sometimes you get a little too deep too. You can. I've been there. I don't
know. If it's something this big, they don't make it easy to find out.
Well,
that's for sure.
No, so I mean, what do you think? What's your theory? Like, I know you've thrown out tons of breadcrumbs and shit, but like, what do you?
Oh no,
like,
I'll tell you exactly what I think.
Okay, go ahead.
I think from my research that I've done, and I've done a ish ton, but I'm not saying I'm correct, but this case has similarities that are very, very, very uncanny to 2 other situations that happened in that area in the past 7 years. And I say 7 years because that's how far it goes back from here to there. The CRV has been in the name of the family for 7 years, and it would take 7 years for these teenagers to change their appearance naturally from age 12 to about 19 or 20 to where they could do what they're doing, which is why I'm finding pictures of people who are teenagers right now that match up and are friends with people in the group that are now older and actually still active and talking in the situation right now.
The fuck?
Yeah, so that's how they're getting away with it. They're using old pictures. By my theory, and I'll show you what I mean.
Okay.
Well, I mean, one of them is already on YouTube. If you want to look at it, you can. You don't have to. It's the last video I posted where the Kiely with a C, her dad looks damn near identical by the theory of being a little bit younger. If you go to Kiely with the C's TikTok, her dad looks just like Kiely with a K's grandpa.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on your video. Can I pull up your video?
Of course you can.
All right. Yeah, I did see that. But now we've got this dude. See, and
oh, go ahead.
I don't know. Never mind. I want to pull up your video first. Which one is it?
Yeah. It's the very last one.
The random access memory. That one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So think about this. Look at all these different people. So I went and hung out with local law enforcement in my town, and I was like, "Yo, look at this stuff. I want y'all to tell me if I'm crazy or if I'm on to nothing, because I don't want to keep looking into something that doesn't mean anything."
Mm-hmm.
And so weirdos do talk with colors and really weird words, according to law enforcement, because they don't want to talk with words or sentences because they're incriminating themselves. A light and a color can't incriminate you, so that's why they do that apparently. But yeah,
dude, you are so deep in this. Okay, let's play. Do you want me to play the whole thing?
You don't have to. You can play whatever part.
Well,
you want.
I want everybody. I'm sure everybody's seen it, but let's play it. Maybe I'll pause it if you don't mind.
I'm gonna try to make this clear.
Kiely Rodni is not Kiely Rodni. Kiely Rodni is Kiely Ross. Kiely Ross's dad is fake Kiely Rodni's grandpa.
Oh.
That sounds funny.
You have to listen on YouTube. I'm sorry. I got like janky setup, dude. I'm still learning this whole stream. Dude, I'm on OBS. You know, I'm trying to learn all this shit.
Oh, I'm on OBS. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get this shit down, and I just learned how to connect it with Zoom, so it's totally brand new. So you're gonna have to listen on YouTube, and I apologize. So you can just mute and like play it on your mobile or whatever.
What in the hell?
He's like, damn, I would have never come on this panel if it was gonna be so difficult.
Oh, there we go.
That sounds fucking crazy. Yeah. So one piece of evidence that was thrown out there that everybody was like, what the hell does this mean? Was everyone keeps talking about this Be Real app, right? I've never fucking heard of it. Have you? No. I've never heard of it. And if you look it up, it's like, it's the biggest thing ever, when really it's fucking not. So if you look at the evidence that's been put out, there was a picture that came out where it's the girls in the car lean back, and there's a supposedly Kiely Rodni like with them or whatever. That's the picture everybody's saying, yo, that girl looks dead. So if you go back.
Okay, so that's the first thing is this picture of the chick with the black eye.
Right. That is weird.
But could this be a picture that was like screenshotted and like, or fucked up before it was posted in order to fool somebody or make it look different than it really is? Because I mean,
oh, for sure.
If somebody, okay, so pretty much Doug from AWP has said this really couldn't be an accident. So are they trying to throw things out there to make it look like she passed away in a different way than she actually did? Could that be possible?
I'm going to be completely honest. I think somebody was found in the car 100 million%.
Yes.
I do not think Kiely Rodni is that individual body's name.
Why the lie, though? Why wouldn't they say who her real identity is?
Because if you ask me personally, it's, if you think about it from a business perspective, it is a really easy way to make money. I could make $1 million in 2 weeks off of faking a death. I would get caught, like these people are going to get caught, but I could get that money into the GoFundMe account.
So here's
fuck! And you had that
question
one YouTuber give a donation to that GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Holy. Wait.
What are you saying, Bubba?
So here's where I just want to clarify on where your thoughts are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ask me whatever you want, bro.
Okay, so the situation surrounding Kiely is the part that you don't think is real. The investigation into it is leading us to the part that the Kiely girl is not real. That's where the investigation is going to lead. You believe that the cops are not involved in the cover-up. The cops are actually investigating it, and they're going to come to the bottom of that this is all a hoax and it was all made up.
All right, so this is unless you like actually think about it, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm going to so remember when I was saying the ram and there's the ram sticker?
Yeah.
These weird people who, you've worked with law enforcement. These weird people have like weird ticks, right? They do weird things. If you notice, the highway that is by Truckee is Highway 80. So many young blonde-headed girls have gone missing in that area, which leads me to think that it is a person or a group of people who have a specific how do you say that? They like a certain kind of person, right? Or look or whatever. So
they fit a certain description.
Yeah. So they got like a personal preference. All right. Gotcha. So here's my thing. This is gonna sound crazy, but if you go back to the Casey Anthony thing that happened, that baby come up missing, and for 31 days it didn't get reported. Then it got reported. One of the main people in that case name was Zanny Nanny. Okay. If you take that date and move that date to when Kiely Rodni went missing, that kid would have been 16 or 17 years old. When the reason I'm saying that is because if you look and see these individuals that I'm finding named Kiely Ross, That girl, if you scroll to the bottom of the Instagram, she aged like 7 years in like just a few videos. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, how the hell did that happen? She didn't make this TikTok when she was a kid, and now she still has it. TikTok's new. So that tells me those were pre-recorded videos and stuff from other sources. That's why the videos aren't that good. So they attach the name to it, make it look real. Remember how I said it seems like everybody has two profiles? It's because one, they're both dummy profiles, but one they're actively using and one is just to lead people away. But really, they're both meant to lead people away. So if you look at when AWP went down there, if the weirdo person has a personal preference and the body's been in the water and they already know what the car looks like and they got the tag number, if they dive under there and see a skinny, blonde-headed girl in the car, they're going to be like, oh, for sure. You know, I mean, yeah, this definitely got to be her. It's a blonde-headed girl. She's a little bit thing, and this is the tag number and stuff. But if you also notice, AWP said something was weird. They're like, it looks suspicious, right? And then if you noticed, since you're in law enforcement, they wanted to make it look weird. They wanted to make it look like what it wasn't was. Remember, because they didn't throw out the buoy. They didn't throw out the thing. They just pinged it on the phone or whatever, or however they did it. I didn't see them throw out a buoy like they usually do. They went back to camp. He said, be quiet when we go to camp. And then they moved the RV like they didn't find nothing. Then went back out there because they didn't want to freak out everybody standing around. They already come in contact before that with the truck driver of the flatbed, which was also sketchy. And you can tell by the way they're standing, one is questioning and one is watching body language. Well, they catch them on two lies. So then they go to Prosser. They get in and they end up finding the car like that. And they were like, what the hell? And then they went down there, seen it. He come back up. So even though he's seen that was who he, who fit the description, he still came back up and said something looks suspicious. Then they ended up leaving, all right, or whatever. Well, for a few days, they withheld some information because, they're professionals and they didn't want to throw nothing out there, which that's what they should do. You see what they do. They do good shit. They don't want no hostility. But look how everybody was acting on the internet until AWP come out and said that. And then AWP released a tow truck video. Now everybody's like, wait a minute, what is going on? They're like, well, where? Then that made everybody start questioning, well, where's the facts at? Like, where is this party? Where is the pictures of the Kiely girl at the party? Where is the pictures of the Kiely girl with any of her friends? Any of her family? Then you start looking up the pictures and you're like, yo, somebody cut her teeth in half and freaking stuck other teeth there and accidentally added some gums and some other shit. And I was like, whoa.
I noticed that weird. Too, Ryan, when I saw that photo, but I thought it was just pixelated. I just kind of kept scrolling because I thought it was just a pixelated photo. Did you see
what AWP did?
Mm-mm.
Somehow AWP got a very, very high quality photo of that particular photo. It wasn't anywhere else. I couldn't find it in good quality. They got that from, I don't know where. I mean, they could have got it from looking up shit. I couldn't find it that clear, but it was insanely clear on there. That could have been because they were like, yo, we got to find out where we can get a clear version of this so people can see.
Well,
like,
yeah, maybe their video guy did it.
So Ryan, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. I don't know how much you caught. I lost juice a minute ago, man. So I'm a repo agent. I live in Kentucky, man. I'm pretty close to you. So obviously, man, I've got some pretty dope software when it comes to looking into people, right? So, man, you're definitely, you got people's wheels spinning out there for sure. I'm a dude that, I'm not really into conspiracies or nothing like that, man. But me
neither.
I seen your videos last night, man, and you're right, dude. A simple Google search, and I don't know what you caught of this before you came on. And me and my wife, we got 6 kids. If one of my kids went missing, and I'm putting pictures of my kid out there, you're gonna see their family in those pictures.
Yes.
why do we not see any pictures of this girl's family? And you're right.
Because that ain't their real family.
So answer me this, bro. What's the motive?
Money. Simplest
much,
answer, money.
But Ryan, there's not that much money. Yeah, that's the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a couple $100,000.
I mean, that's what we're seeing in a GoFundMe. What are we not seeing though?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what right now. Check it. Look what the police department said. Check it. They said we got 9,000 or whatever people hours, and we had the boats and all this stuff out there, right?
Billing for that time.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Fucking hey.
There you go. Government cuts you a check for fucking 150 racks right off the rip.
But Ryan, that would mean that California Highway Patrol and the FBI would be in on that.
Not necessarily.
So maybe the local PD tried pulling some shiz.
Exactly.
And the FBI.
It's local funding from the.
Right. So now the FBI's
called
in, right?
The commissioners that run the town.
Okay. So you're thinking this runs in a little cell in the town. Like the bigger law enforcement departments aren't necessarily all covering this up, if that's the case.
No, I don't even think that it's the whole police department. I think it's maybe like 3 cops maybe
running the show.
No way.
Who are like friends with the commissioner, which is why you see cops missing now, because there's cops missing from the background that have been in all the press conferences except for like the last 2.
Yeah. Well, where did the long-haired girl go? Like, she was all front and center of the news reporter, and I know you talked about her a lot. And then all of a sudden, it was Shanann Moon, making the announcement that they found her. So, like, why all of a sudden take away your main, spokesperson for the major announcement? You would think she would be there for that announcement at the very least.
When that picture came out of her and Xana May with each other, she was gone.
Hey, Ryan.
The Prosser County Police Department hit me up. The first DM says, "Man, you're doing so great. Share anything we got."
Mm-hmm.
Then I disagreed with them. The next DM was, "I need you to take that picture down." I said, "Why?" They said, "Well, that's not our police officer." I said, "Well, she's wearing a fucking one of y'all's police outfits, and she's standing there for 7 press conferences."
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
What? They didn't DM me back.
Well, what I found on her was that she worked for a news station there. She's an anchor, or a reporter, rather.
You want to know how deep this goes, dude? Whoever they know somebody that knows and can call somebody who takes the pictures for Google Earth and block off entire neighborhoods.
Well, there's a lot of reasons that will happen, right?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, man. So obviously there could be more money involved that we're not seeing, like what you were talking about, a certain type of look, if someone was looking for a young girl for nefarious reasons. I mean, there could be money from a purchase. I mean, okay, there could be lots of money that we're not seeing involved in this. Mm-hmm. What's the end game, and where did the FBI stand? Are they going to take these people down, or
right?
I think it's so big that they're having to trail everything down, because if it works like I think it works, the thing is you look at what these people do. They get on here. If you go look at certain key players that are YouTubers and some that just started their YouTube channel, what they're doing is they're doing very invasive things. Like if you notice, speculating is good, but you have to have a base to speculate. Just like when I was talking to Xana May, she's trying to tell me, well, yada, yada, yada. Can you prove that she's not real? I said, I don't have to prove that she's not real. You have to prove she's real. And she's like, yeah, but can you prove she's not real? I said, I don't have to do that. You have to prove she's real. I said, you can't just, I'm not going to prove to you that nothing's there if nothing's there. It just doesn't make sense. And then she got all butthurt.
Evidence out of nothing.
Exactly. So when you look at the situation, think about it, man. You got a party nobody's got a picture of. You got a African-American male who is calling himself Ronnie.
The second that I don't call him Ronnie, the other guy who apparently doesn't know him and never met him is like, no, he is real. And it's like, okay, relax. Just show me he's real. And then the evidence they have of him being real is a doctored, edited, what they called a live feed. It wasn't a live feed. It was a video premiere. And the entire thing looks like Minecraft. They're not even letting you see the background. It's like, dude, why did y'all go to this extent? Why couldn't you just click the live button? What are you hiding? Well, we found out what they're hiding. Because the Ronnie Jones Instagram that was being ran by quote-unquote Ronnie Jones, eventually the dude, okay, so I had a guy call me, and his name was Miro. I got him to show his face for 2 seconds. I screenshotted it. Well, Miro gets freaked out and changes his Instagram. And when he erased the Ronnie Instagram, it went back to the default name in the beginning, which was Miro. So now you got both of them Miros, right? Okay. Well, then you got these other people who are like, no, Ronnie's real. He is a real African-American guy. That's him. Then Ikmail sets up the live, and it shows his legs, and his legs are whiter than damn biology class, dude. They're pretty much transparent. And
no, I'm with you on that. I mean, I've seen all that, but
and then look what everybody did. No, Ronnie's real. I'm like, yes, Ronnie's real, but you're trying to when they're like Ronnie's real. See, that's where they're getting misconstrued. Yeah, Ronnie is a real guy. A real guy does have to drive this Challenger to go do this live, but this guy's not a black dude. It's a white guy. And then when I questioned his anime, she goes, well, maybe it's the luminescence of the cell phone. You mean to tell me the back of the cell phone is making his whole entire leg that's in a shadow of a Challenger in the bottom?
No, man, that was a white guy for sure.
100%. I mean,
there's no questioning that.
No question. Not only that,
and then you got when you get into proving Ronnie Jones, do you realize how common that name is?
Exactly, bro.
And how many of them you're gonna pull?
You want to know what's crazier? The guy that is the face of Ronnie Jones, he has the same name as Ikmail.
Right.
So really, the Ronnie Jones character, we don't know his real name. Now we know Ikmail's name. Ikmail is Mel Salino. Okay, so when you put them two together, then what happened? This anime character pops up out of nowhere. She's like, I know Ronnie's real. I know Ronnie's real. Blah, blah, blah. Well, how do you know, lady? Because you kind of look like him. I just know he is. We're in touch with him. We're controlling the situation. All right, well, you're telling me you're controlling the situation. It's supposed to be in the hands of the police. That makes no somebody sense. That was there that says they were watching this little girl the entire time. How come only people who don't know the little girl and don't have pictures with her are the only people that seen her? That's because there wasn't no party.
Well, every picture of this party is clearly a picture taken somewhere else. I mean, one of them's got a house in the background, for God's sakes. And here's, and I said this earlier, man, and this is where this gets tricky though, because this girl's a minor. So it doesn't matter how badass my software is, or even friends in law enforcement. You can't. You're gonna have a hard time proving that exists because I mean all of that. You know that's protected by HIPAA and everything else. You know what I mean? So there's no way that the public could ever prove. Unless the mom came out with the birth certificate and social and all that stuff. So.
Exactly.
Hey guys, I'm having an audio problem. So my audio is all crackly and they can't understand you guys.
What?
Yeah, like it's
you
all.
You running a VPN?
Yeah, I am actually.
It could be mine.
No, it's all of you guys sound like you're underwater.
What?
Yeah, why would that be?
My wife just takes watching at home and she just says sounds it down.
Yeah, it's really bad. Listen.
We should all maybe come back in.
That's what the fuck it sounds like. I might have to. Yeah, let me restart the Zoom. How about that?
All right, bet.
Okay, see you in a minute. Same meeting numbers and everything. All right, let's start a new meeting up. And let's see if that helps. Hopefully it does. Hey, Repo.
Yep.
All right, let's see if we're any better. Let's see what the chat room says. I don't know. I might have to reboot my computer altogether if it doesn't get better, so. How do they sound, guys?
Hello?
Is that better now?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I know mine sounds fine. Good so far? Okay.
We just don't have Ryan in yet, right?
They said it did it when Repo was... What are you guys doing to my system? Are you guys hosing my system?
No, I was outside and the wind was blowing a little bit. So
You're
maybe...
building a deck, right?
Yeah, that's what I was doing today. And I was checking out your podcast, and I mean, I couldn't stay silent no longer.
You couldn't. So where's your passion with this case? What like made
just
you
nothing about it makes sense. Just absolutely nothing. I mean, and that's why, I'm not ready to say that this girl don't exist, but God, it's gonna be hard to prove either way. It's just I don't know, man.
I don't think I can go there with that.
But
I mean, honestly.
But listen, everything that he's saying
mm-hmm.
is plausible.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible. You realize that, right? I mean, he hasn't said anything.
Who, Ryan, you're talking about?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, anything's possible. I don't deny that. But
I think it would be a huge production, a huge one. And the motives just don't make sense.
But I guess I'm with Clayton. Or was it you that asked Ryan, so what do we think happens from here? That
was me. What is
that was
the end
you?
Game?
Yeah. So what happens?
What's our end game?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out is if he's saying that the disappearance and all that stuff was faked by these people to make money. Okay, I can kind of understand where he's coming from with that. Kind of.
I mean, there would be money from every direction.
The problem that I have is, where does law enforcement come in? If they're all covering it up and then the FBI comes in and they're all covering it up too, then we get to the point where it don't matter who they bring in, everybody's covering it up.
No, but he says he thinks it could be as simple as just a couple nefarious characters.
Yeah. And if that's where his theory stops, then I can understand how he got there. I'm not gonna say I agree with it, but I can understand how he got there.
Same.
He hasn't. That's. I'm on board, but that's what I'm saying. It may be hard to believe, but he hasn't put anything out there that is not possible. I mean, people do bad things all the time, for bad reasons. There's just bad people out there. I promise that there is. But
yeah, I have a really hard time just like comprehending that there are people out there that would do something like that.
Because look, I can
I'd call me naive. I mean, but
no,
I can 100% say that I completely believe and 100% agree with the whole Zaname, Ronnie Jones, that whole situation. I completely think that was 100% caught and made up, and it was all found out.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
The problem that I have, just coming from where I come from, is getting to the point that all that was tied in with the fake Kiely Rodni, and then the fake disappearance, and then the fake discovering of a fake body. That's where it just kind of gets a little weird for me. Now, I can understand how somebody can get there.
Well,
but then when you start talking about other agencies coming in,
Well, sure. And whose body is it? Because he says he believes 100% that there was a body in the vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there he is. What's up, buddy?
Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me.
So, hey, Ryan, let me throw something else your direction.
Yeah, buddy.
Because there's just not one, if you could make one thing make sense to me out of this, then I would be so apt to disagree with you if you could just make one thing make sense. So let's go back to Sammy. Okay. Now, I don't know what it's like in Tennessee where you're at or where everybody else is at, but I'm going to tell you right here in Kentucky, dude, that girl would have got cuffs thrown on her so quick. If you're going to stand in front of a camera and tell a bunch of grown ass adults to drop your children off and run away as fast and far away as you can, you're telling grown-ups to drop their minor children off with you, that you're the contact point with the FBI and the police. Dude,
it's ludicrous.
They would have handcuffed that chick so fast and had her ass in the back of a cop car. You wouldn't have known what would happen to her.
Down south? Oh, bruh.
I always felt that was kind of odd, but I thought maybe they were just letting her talk.
Your ass getting questioned quick around here, dude.
But look at this, Ryan. I want to show you this photo. This is the dad at the scene, and I noticed his hair was really hacked. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, did he go to a bad barber? But then I saw that picture of the guy with the long hair. And I was like,
listens to weird music or something. I don't know what's up with that shit.
Yeah, it's all like someone gave him a bad haircut. Like it went up too high. So I thought that was kind of weird. But
you know what?
I don't know.
I'm about to post
and then
this.
Here's another one to show you.
Y'all about the shit.
This is another one that I saw, and it's Kiely and her mom, but it looks really weird to me.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, hang on. I just had to screenshot it.
What the hell? Hold up. I think somebody just got my... Hang on.
Right here. This is one that I came across, and it looks really distorted to me.
That's so weird looking.
I'm gonna open the door.
Look at the mother. Look at the small bottom and the top.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be right back.
Okay. It's all disproportioned.
I'm kind of like it, I work. I don't skip leg day a whole lot, but I'm bigger up top than I am. But I'm a guy. I work. It's different. That don't look right to me. It just don't look right.
And the sunglasses look photoshopped on there.
Yeah, everything about that. The background. Look at the faces. They literally are bigger than the proportion of the bodies. Just look at it.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, it does look funny. That's why it caught my eye.
And not a whole lot either. Like just enough to almost be believable. Yeah,
I saw that. Obviously it caught my eye. That's why I saved it. I was like, that's weird. But I don't know. People do all kinds of crazy shit when there's a high profile case like this. So you just never know. You never know what you're going to see or come across. And I don't grasp onto every little thing,
I don't either. I'd give anything to talk to Jarrett and the AWP guys.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
I'd love to just, go have a beer with those guys, and just because, they've alluded themselves. They've alluded to things being off, and depending on how things go, they have 2 more videos that will come out.
Look at this. All right. There's Gabby Petito. All right, watch this. Here's Brian Laundry.
I want to see that, Ryan.
Hold it up to your camera if you can.
Hey guys.
Oh, I'm about to post it so you can see.
Post it on your community?
It on my community?
Okay, cool. Perfect.
I'll let you get back to your panel. I love you.
Love you, mama.
If you need anything, holler, okay?
Hey, y'all need anything over there?
We're good.
All right, is Billy doing anything with the tractor today?
It's Saturday. It's Sunday.
Oh yeah, what am I thinking? Fuck, I ain't work today.
Did you need something?
No.
Right.
Hey, it's a holiday weekend too, Ryan.
Huh?
Lock his door?
No, I got my fucking AR right here.
You locked them in here?
No, I'll just shoot through the door.
Okay.
Love you.
Hey, it's a holiday weekend too, Ryan. You should
Fucking
be
right.
you should be out at the lake or something, man.
See, I'm about to go ride my Harley. I'm waiting for my buddy.
That's what's up. I'm at home myself, man. My whole family, my wife's a travel nurse, man. She's out on the road working. My whole family, they're at the lake. I'm stuck at home building a deck, man.
Fucking
And
hell yeah.
Well, you're not getting much done today, repo guy.
I'm not.
I know, right?
Man, I'm just, this thing's been eating at me, man. It has. I can't.
So these pictures you're about to see, all right? Okay, the pictures on the left, you're going to know who they are. The pictures on the right, I found near a community in Lake Tahoe, California, in an area where this entire community is blocked off. And I found them through Kiely Rodni hashtags. Here we go. Posting right now. They just posted. Scroll and look at both of them.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Where'd you find this?
Kiely Rodni hashtags.
Where did you post them to your page, Ryan?
Yep, on my community page.
I've got to make this screen bigger. I've got it pulled up on the screen. Fuck. Yeah, but don't I mean, I'm trying to, be rational, but don't hashtags like sometimes kind of attach to, similar like situations? Like Gabby Petito had like the same thing, like the search and all of that. And so did Kiely.
Exactly.
Right. So who's this girl that's popping up is what you're asking.
But you see what.
And why is she similar?
Right. Now look at Brian Laundrie, the one next.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Really,
yeah,
Ryan? This wasn't enough?
Hey, but that one's the one that got me.
What?
Not her. Yeah, not her. But that's weird though. Tell me that ain't weird, Justin.
That's
Jay?
In the same area.
Is that not weird? I mean, no, it's not like an identical match right there, but I mean, there is.
You're in plastic surgery heaven in California.
But even there's just something disturbingly
I think that the dude with
similar.
The beard looks older though.
He's supposed to.
I mean,
remember,
hey,
look,
money,
think of the
money
theory,
talks.
Yeah, think of the theory that I just told you about the Kiely Rodni stuff, with it being a few years apart.
You know what? I'm done with missing people. I'm gonna follow like murder and mayhem. Fuck this shit, man.
I mean that one.
I didn't sign up for this.
That shit's creepy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Where can I see these pictures at?
People start looking like one another if you look hard enough. Like if you want to see it, you can. And that's Clayton. You're muted. I don't know if you meant to mute yourself, but if you want to see something, you can. But Ryan, can I ask you a question? I know you did a few videos on Summer Wells.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Summer Wells is real case?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't think anything
100%.
sinister with that?
I think some weirdo in the holler snatched her.
You do. I wondered because you're from
down
there.
Your way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you think it was like an opportunity thing? Like she was unattended and someone knew the situation?
Somebody's been over the house a couple times, knows the road.
But where is she?
Fuck, who knows?
Weirdos, man. Weirdos. And they're out there.
Am I still muted or am I good?
We can hear you.
Okay. She just said that I was muted. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
It didn't show muted on
Why
my screen,
did all this
so
weirdness start over COVID, though? Money? Money motivator?
I don't know, man. Time on people's hands? I don't know. I'm just telling you, from what I see every day as a repo agent, the world has changed since coronavirus. People, like, I mean, most people think that the repo job is like you see on TV, and it's really not. It's actually pretty eventless, and it's just normal everyday life. You know, people get behind, shit happens. You know, it's not like a TV show. Most of the time, we're happy if something jumps off because it just breaks the monotony. You know, and ever since COVID, it's like there's nonstop action everywhere you go. Everybody's ready to fight. Everybody's ready to pull out a gun, and it's
pretty volatile.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people lost their shit.
Mm-hmm.
You see what we got here, and look, I'm not really that political of a guy anymore. I'm team my town.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking fighting anybody that tries to come to our town and fuck our town up. I think everybody should be like that. Politics is a bunch of people lying to you all the time, but
yeah, from all sides. That's why I hate it all.
Yeah, but check it.
Ryan,
what did Trump say? He busted the Epstein. While he was in office, the Epstein dude got busted, but he kept saying the storm is coming. The storm is coming. Not only that, he said we're fighting a war we can't even see, a war on information. If they can do this and get away with this, the next step in technology is using your face to make a video like they're doing on TikTok right now with Elvis. If they can hack your phone and ping you somewhere, they can put you wherever you want, put your phone there, and your ass going to jail, and you're going to have to prove you wasn't there.
They can already do that, bro.
Oh, I know. I'm talking.
Dude, that's petrifying.
Yeah, but and that's easy. Everything you just mentioned is so easy.
Thank you. I'm so glad somebody else knows that. Like, bro, that's super easy.
That's why. Look, man, I heard Doug No Thanks go his video last night, and dude, I can't even watch that guy no more. I don't know if you caught it, Ryan, but
I'm not gonna lie, I ain't got a clue who that is.
Well, he said you were like a subscriber. He said you were like a subscriber, dude. He done you pretty bad, and I have a hard time with people. I have a hard time with people dogging you out, bro. Because, man, I think that you really wanted to give that Hellcat away. I think you wanted to give that Hellcat away. I think you wanted to give $100,000 away. I think it was burning a hole in your pocket. Am I wrong,
bro? You know what? I'm so glad you caught on to that. So check it. So obviously, I talked to AWP, right?
Right.
All right. So check it. If they are upstanding men that are sticking by their word on something, and I'm the same kind of person, why haven't they said anything to me about the Hellcat? Everybody was like, "Oh, well, AWP don't like you."
Well, I haven't heard him say one bad word about you.
Yeah, bro, they were right beside me on a panel. You don't think they ain't gonna say something?
Zav girl. I seen
that. Well,
I
heard the other day on a panel they actually asked him about the Hellcat, and he said the only thing that he would say about it is that you were a man of your word and that you're following through with everything you said you would. That's all that he said.
I get that, but check it. There is no email between me and him. I've asked him 10 times. There has to be a reason why it's simple as me just, hey, let's sit in the driveway right now.
So they really haven't even reached back out to you is what you're saying?
No.
Wow.
What does that tell? They don't tell you they're bad guys.
But listen, hold on. And I really hate to put somebody's name out there, but I have to because of the situation. You know that Jim Terry guy? Have you heard of him, Ryan? James Terry, the PI?
No.
He was on that whole Jared, and this is just something I've picked up. Dude, I haven't been a big fan of the true crime world. I really just got into this over this Dylan Round case, but at any rate, James Terry, he was working the Jared Hall case, okay, with the family for like 3 years. And this mother, man, she thought this kid was coming home, dude. And this kid was in the bottom of a lake. And I mean, he had it advertised, $20,000 reward. And they've called him out 1 million times. I mean, they call him out all the time. And he says that reward was taken down years before you found him and this and that. I mean, they have no problem calling anybody out. I haven't heard them say one ill word about you. Nothing.
You know why?
I've heard other people, but I ain't heard not one ill word.
They're unsure. That's why when they come up out of the water, he said, "This don't look right."
Well,
they did say it was because they were she was in the very back. He thought that
they
didn't.
said a lot of things in there. They said a lot of things, and they said a whole lot more that they didn't actually say. Their body language said a lot.
Bro, you see them interrogating the not interrogating, but under the radar questioning the tow truck guy.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just weird. This guy should have records of this shit.
I'm
if
thankful.
If he's got a camera on his truck, I don't care what company he works for. This guy should have been part of day one investigation. He should have been out there up front with that camera information day one.
Bro, you're a repo guy. You know that what he said about the digital dispatch and shit was all bullshit.
Well, I mean, they do have digital dispatch, but there's still record of it. There's still records.
Facts.
There's even more records because it is digital, which leaves digital footprints. There's even more records.
So what do you guys think of the scanner thing? I saw articles that came out in their local media pretty much only that said, alert, there's a scanner audio that went out of Reno and it's fake. And I was like, what? They were like, it went viral on social media. I was like, I never heard of any fucking scanner audio.
I hadn't heard anything about that either.
But there's a couple articles. Yeah, there's a couple articles out there in like some Reno, like local.
You know, that's them wanting somebody to say, yeah, did you hear about the scanner thing? So they could be like, oh, that's not true. And that would be true.
But that could
make look better.
But that could also make someone who is being investigated maybe think, oh, they don't know about that call. You know? I mean, there's so many ways it could go that I hate to go to that complete point of distrust that, you know, this is all covered up by so many layers of authority.
And you know what?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and, you know, Ryan, man, I don't get a chance to listen to as much of your music. What I have heard, I got some younger guys that work for me. I'm definitely, you know, I'm a fan of you, bro. I think you're a good dude. And
thank you, man.
And I've caught, you know, I've watched a lot of your YouTube channel, and I know you have personally had issues with members of law enforcement causing you to have reasons of distrust. And that sucks, bro. That sucks, because then that plants that seed within you, you know, because you've experienced that firsthand.
Shit, I get their asses, though. They don't like me when I go to the sheriff's office because somebody getting in trouble.
I have another question, you guys.
You got that ability that the everyday guy doesn't.
Oh, no, I'm saying, no, they still try to get one over on me until I pull out the damn GoPro footage and they start changing their mind.
Oh, I mean, that's what you got to have these days, bro.
Got to.
And that's what I said earlier about that's what I said earlier about these parents. If this shit happened to my kid and there was somebody on YouTube saying this ain't real, I mean, I'm just that guy. I'd be breaking out Social Securities and birth certificates, and I'd be like, hey, my kid was a fan. You are wrong.
Bro,
you
answer
are wrong,
me this.
wrong.
Why is there more stuff you can list that is questionable about her not being actually who she is rather than being who she is?
And that's why I have such a problem with it.
Me too.
If you could just make one thing make sense to me.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because you've watched a lot of AWP's stuff, right? Did you guys ever get a reason why? Because usually when we watch their videos, like I binge watched them, and they net the cars. You know, when they pull them out, because there could be like evidence that comes out. So why weren't they the ones that actually went in there and pulled it out the way that they normally do? Does anybody know?
LE pulled it out
because it was active, probably.
Told them go on. We're gonna pull it out. That's what I heard.
But hey, what didn't they get to? They were still on scene and all that, though. Obviously, right?
Yeah, but I think they pushed them off to the side because in their video,
I mean,
they're from the distance.
Did you ever get a chance to speak with Jarrett, like off the air, Ryan?
Well, here's the thing. So we had 2 phones get hacked, so we had everybody put our shit on lock, right? I went on panel with Zav Girl. Zav Girl's YouTube got hacked. When me and Jared was on the panel with each other, He said, "Hey man," he's like, "I emailed your manager back." He's like, "I'm not." He's like, "I'm not sure if it was real or not though, so I didn't put my number in there." I get home and I look for Jared's email. It ain't nowhere in there. What does that tell you? Somebody made a fake church manager page, tried to get their number so they could their phone up.
They've intercepted it.
Yeah,
some is what you're.
Or they were going to, but Jared's too smart.
Right.
He wasn't gonna make the link.
I want to just kind of come at this from a different angle, and I told Jay earlier, I don't totally agree with what Church is saying, but I definitely respect the fact that he's got his own opinion, and I think that's 100%. The right thing to do is everybody needs to have their own opinion. That's what this is here for, is to kind of come together and talk about it, try to figure it out.
Facts.
My question is after seeing what Alex Jones just went through with a defamation suit for the Sandy Hook stuff. Now I'm sure you've got people behind the scenes that are kind of letting you know what's okay and what's not okay as far as coming out and saying. I don't know what you got going on there.
I don't.
But okay. But so my question is, if we get to the end of this and if your theory is completely wrong, are you worried about anything as far as legal ramifications coming from this? Because that's what I would worry about.
No. I'm not.
How come?
Because if everything I'm saying ain't true, somebody would have come out and prove me wrong.
Not necessarily.
Well, I think you'd have had a lawsuit already.
Facts. That's why I told everybody, I said, come on, sue me. I said, I want y'all to take me to court. I said, look up my lawyer, take me to court. They won't. They can't. If they do, they're busted.
So none of her like family or anything has ever tried to reach out to you and be like, dude, what's your problem?
Nope.
The boyfriend.
All you gotta do is show a birth certificate and you're done.
So was Jagger the boyfriend or the ex-boyfriend?
That's so easy. That's so easy to do.
What is easy to do? I'm sorry, Repo. What'd you say?
Or driver's license or birth certificate, any legal form. That would be so easy to do. And I get it. A lot of people say that's just disrespectful and all this, but I'm the total opposite of that. I don't know. I guess it's just the way I was born and raised, but I'd much rather. I mean, what's it gonna hurt? If it's real, then the child's dead. Her personal information being out there, what would it harm?
Bro, not only that, see those kind of people down there, bro. Here's the thing. Now, if anybody in here is from over there, totally cool. I ain't got a problem with California. But here's my thing. In the South, stuff is way, 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 way meaner and way crazier and way more unexplainable. And those cases get solved every day.
Every day. And I said it. I asked Jay earlier, are you familiar with the Crystal Rogers case? Have you heard anything about that? Out of Bardstown, Kentucky? Look that up, man. I think they're getting ready to close that, but that's some real shit. This chick went missing, and local law enforcement, there was a brother-in-law of the husband or boyfriend that was on law enforcement. It's been about 8 years. The case went on Oxygen. Yeah, like the Oxygen had an 8-episode special. The FBI, but this was some real shit. Like they've never found this girl's remains. And that's why I said earlier, like I live out in the country, man. People go missing out here. They do every day, all the time.
We've had 4 dead bodies in my town that are like, what the hell is this shit in the past like 16 months?
It happens. It happens out in the country, guys. It just does.
Dude, there's this one lady, you can look this up. Her name's Judith Imsky. I wrote a song called Dirty South about it. Her ass come up missing one morning. Her and the fucking feds and everybody checked where he worked, his backyard. They scaled the freaking pond behind his house. They ain't find one speck of DNA of this lady. And she never got found.
Yeah. That's why I said that Dylan Rounds kid, I think a professional done that because they found absolutely nothing, in months. But and like this Crystal Rogers case I was telling you about, it is a professional that done it. They were local law enforcement. And when you have less than 15 people on that local law enforcement, you can get away with whatever. You just can. It's just the way it is. There's no, you don't have to answer questions, guys, because there's nobody here to ask them. You see what I'm saying? They don't have to worry about getting away with anything because nobody's going to question them. And that's where we live. That is a reality.
Well, they're having a memorial on September 10th. Ryan, why don't you fly out there and go?
Because I don't know her.
Well, it's welcome to everybody, I think, at the amphitheater.
I ain't going out there. That place is sketchy. They can't even
I
find
wouldn't
a damn
either.
car in 10 feet of water. I ain't going out there.
I wouldn't either. I'm just messing around, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's the crazy thing, y'all. Like where I'm from, like all the old men at co-op say, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck and looks like a duck, it's a duck.
Go back to the old school way of thinking.
Yeah, where we live, out here where me and Repo live, dude. I mean, I don't know where Clayton lives, but man, you
He's
have
South Carolina.
I'm in the same spot.
Oh,
yeah.
then you know.
He's in South Carolina. Yeah,
Then you know.
Shit.
There's a crackhead somewhere. You can give him $20,000 and he'll go shoot whoever's house up. It don't matter.
20,000. There's one around here. You give them a bottle of dope and they'll go do it.
Yeah, but 20,000, you ain't gonna get caught.
Shit, 20,000. It's open, shut, and done with. That's a done deal.
And look at these crooked motherfuckers. They got $20,000 all day.
I wonder if like the bottom line of this is somehow, drugs are mixed into this whole mess.
I think it's just plain old money.
You think it's just plain old money? I just don't know where all the money, like,
follow the money.
What money though? Because like,
But that's what and I said the same thing. That was my question to Ryan. But then he points out, if you take this back and there really was a blonde-haired girl that was missing, and listen, people are trafficked every day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
unfortunately, yeah.
It happens. Okay. And when people, when Trump was wanting to build the wall, people just kept spouting off at the mouth. He's being mean. He's racist. Are you not hearing the fentanyl, the trafficking? The biggest problem, the human trafficking and the fentanyl. It's like nobody pays attention to that. But that's some very real stuff.
Well, I think people are starting to pay attention because people are dropping like flies on this shit.
They better, dude.
So like, I mean, it's like, I'm in Florida. It's in my news every day. Every day.
Absolutely. It's
the same around here. I mean, it's everywhere.
Everybody knows somebody that's died from fentanyl. So when you start talking about when you have people that are asking if coronavirus was maybe possibly an attack from China, dude, we were attacked a long time ago. A long time ago.
They're seeing who's going to do what when they tell them to do it.
Hey, hold on. I'm going to go get my tinfoil so I can put a hat on. I feel like I fucking need it. Listen, guys, I've got to run. I got to wrap this up because I got somewhere I have to be. But
I got to get my deck built.
Yeah, you better get that deck built or your wife's going to have your ass.
Yeah.
You better stop playing with that deck. You hear me?
But I want to thank you guys for coming up and, having this discussion. And Ryan, thanks for coming up and sharing, all of your findings. Yeah, it was
awesome. It was awesome talking with you, man.
You guys were a great panel. So it was really interesting.
Man, do you got an email out there, man? I don't know if you feel comfortable with that.
Raise hell and eat cornbread at gmail.com, boy.
All right, buddy, that works.
That's hard to remember. All right, see ya.
All right,
thanks. Ryan. Well,
he gone.
I was just gonna say, I'm one of the type of people that just because I don't agree with you don't mean that I can't get on here and have a conversation.
Right. I mean, everybody can be respectful.
That's what I think this whole world's missing these days. You got people that have different views on different things, and instead of sitting down and talking it out, trying to understand where each other's coming from.
Amen, man.
Yep.
Amen. If they done that, politics would be so much easier.
Yeah,
life would be a lot easier, right?
Yeah, it would. But hey, it was cool being on here.
Yeah, it was nice to have you. You take care, and thanks again, Clayton. It was nice talking to you again.
No problem.
All right, see ya.
All right,
see you guys.
Yep, bye. All right, guys, I am gonna wrap that up because it's almost 3:00 in the afternoon. Interesting convo. Don't know what to make of all of this. Let it absorb, I guess, and go from there. But hopefully we get some answers one way or another as to what in the hell is going on here. You can see my dog's really amused. Bella loves it. So thanks again to Ryan and Clayton and Repo for joining me on panel this afternoon. It wasn't really planned, and Clayton hit me up and it worked out. So let me see what you guys are saying in chat, because I missed a lot and I want to kind of see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, everybody can be respectful. I got tons of emails, guys. I don't click links in email. I'm sorry. If you're trying to get stuff out to me, I'm not going to be the one to do it, because I don't click links from people I don't know. Definitely don't. Even with a VPN, I don't do it. So appreciate the emails. If it's just text, I will read it, but I'm not clicking any links. So everybody have a great afternoon and be safe out there, please. And enjoy the rest of your evening. No Sunday Night Live today. This was it. So see you soon, guys. Stay safe. Bella Rose says goodbye. And please stay with me and dance it out.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, 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 damn. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time. I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems.